everybody, welcome to the Hyborean Roundtable. It's been about 2 years since our last roundtable that we had for Brotherhood War and Aftermath, right? So really jazzed to have everybody back here again. Winners, I'll let you go through. Since you're hosting it, I'll let you go through and introduce everybody.
As stated, welcome back to a roundtable discussion. It's great to have everybody here again. I wish I had like little fireworks and lights behind me, a little bit more introduction.
Pizzazz!
Hail the conquering
Who's
hero.
ready to get morbed?
You know, that meme is
And
so
that's
fucking old by this point.
That's enough.
I don't care.
I wish I could just mute certain people. That'd be enough out of block. To
Actually,
start out, of course, we have the wonderful, all-powerful dictator, the god himself, Chronicler 177, the creator of Spartan's Generation, and recently Hyborean.
That's me. And
Thank
thank
you.
you for getting Spartan's Generation's name right. Appreciate that.
No, it said Generation. Wait,
That's-
fuck,
yeah.
that is it. No! I played
wondered why
So
you
close,
brought it
yet so far.
specifically up. Anyway,
I played myself.
yes, you did.
After that, we've got the wonderful, as always, morbing laughing block,
Indeed, I am the morbed.
who sanity I question to this day, but I'm always happy to see him. After that, we have my good friend Master Lions. How's
Hey,
it going
you might-
up in the winter?
Winners, you might want to tell everybody who these guys voiced.
Nah, why do that when I can let the people figure it out?
Uh,
But I should probably do that.
Yeah.
I came up with that myself. If you can't tell, I'm not on today. Kron, everybody knows Kron. He does all the things: the editing, the directing, the writing, the voicing,
the Guardian,
the acting, the drinking of the water.
Stay hydrated.
Exactly, the usual. Laughing Block voices Hadley, who was not very Chadley at the end of the series. We've got
But he has that giant scream at the end. It was so good.
oh
we
Nyoka,
will
don't
talk
worry.
about that.
I'm coming for you later. After that, we got Master Lions, who played the absolute bitchiest bitch himself, General Galloway,
Spartan Master Bitch Boy. Yeah.
exactly, and he did it
I'm not
so
like
well.
that in real life. Don't worry.
Who
Did
ended
somebody
up,
say
who
Spartan
ended up
Master
actually,
Bitch Man?
he actually ended up being one of the highlights, I think, of Hyborean, because everybody didn't see that coming, and everybody talked about it. But anyway, continue on. We'll get to that later.
I got some stuff for
And a
those
couple
rewrites
fans
later,
have some
but
too, yeah.
yes, that is Galloway, my wonderful friend, Master Lions. Next up, we have an actual Megalodon, who, I don't know if you noticed, the Megalodon voiced all the sea creatures in the series that
All
you didn't
zero
see.
of
They were
them.
all
Mhm.
they were all in the deleted scenes.
Those were my favorite
Oh,
characters.
Absolutely. But I think
Those are the
there's something-
Patreon bloopers, boys.
You know what's
Oh,
funny
yeah.
is that I actually had that Megalodon, in a scene in the Vault of Light segment. You were supposed to be able to see him like swimming outside the glass windows as Phoenix Team walked by. It was super expensive to shoot. But the Meg looked right at the camera and said, "Fuck you guys." So I had to cut the scene, which was really unfortunate. We ran over budget that day. But, whatever.
That's just unfortunate. But yeah, so that is the Megalodon. After that, we've got Obi-Wan, everyone's second favorite Discord moderator, who played.
Hey, hold on. I gotta pause this for a second. Jake, what's the budget? 15 cents and an Uncrustable?
Yeah,
Daily
it's-
budget?
It's a little more than that. You get a protein bar along with.
And you can throw in a Capri Sun, too.
Yeah, there you go.
All right. That makes sense.
That Megalodon got paid more than all the bounty actors.
This is
I'm
true.
sure Megatron's
Obi-
looking to come, too.
Oh yeah, we've got Obi, who played probably everyone's favorite evil Spartan. Not even Spartan Master, now Captain Scott.
No,
is
it's
it
Spartan Master.
Admiral? Ooh,
It's
Spartan Master.
Yeah. Spartan Master.
Captain
Scott.
is just a secondary title at this point.
Yeah.
It's
Spartan
Master.
Captain Spartan Master Mr. Scott.
Captain Spartan
Captain-
Master Mr. Sergeant Scott. Yeah.
Captain Mister Lord Hoodman, like Spartan boy, like he commands ship now.
What
Yes.
the fuck military title is Lord anyway? Why is Hood called? I'm sorry, that's a tangent. Anyway, go on.
I mean, that's
Lord
actually
Admiral.
there's that.
Because
that-
he's Lord. I think it's Lord Commander is like his.
Oh,
Is
okay.
his so
It's
he's
either
like
that-
the highest commander in that branch of the military. I
Ron
think is what
Perlman
it
is.
is.
Okay, very good. Anyway, go
Yeah.
on.
Oh wait, hold on. We're getting a reveal from behind the Megalodon. Is that who I think it is?
No.
Hey, I was
No.
wondering when he would show up. It's
God,
it's
man.
voice
You're-
of Garrett and my assistant writer on
consumed the
Brotherhood
Meg.
War Aftermath and Hyborean. It's what the fuck his name is. I don't fucking know.
Hugh
No,
better
okay.
guy
It's
Buddha better.
Huber
I'll see you late.
Hoogie Hoggy Hoogie. Whatever the fuck.
No. Well,
For Haley
for proper
It's
For
Mr.
proper-
It's
for
Mr.
proper-
11 minutes late.
for proper pronunciation, it's Hugh Verhalewagen for those who want to know.
Yeah,
So,
it
Yeah,
only
for
took me a
Hulaga
couple years to
Bagaga.
figure that out. All right, let's keep going because this introduction
still
is
haven't
already
figured it out.
12 minutes long.
Dodge.
Oh, of
Yeah.
course. What did you expect? After that, we have everyone's favorite, just human voice box at this point. It is terrifying how many voices this man can do and everything that he can do, but we all love him. It's the one and only Tatsumari, the Death Man himself.
Because
Who, if a
every
character
character
gets-
he touches fucking dies.
Every
Lord of
character
Death.
given to him will die.
Yes, and coming up with characters, they're both looking at me quite nervously, if I do say so myself.
You're a character in the Spartan Legacy. Tatsumari is cast as your voice actor.
I just got like, what's that one meme? The guy is just sweating bullets.
Yeah.
oh yeah, Jordan Peele's
Yeah.
friend bullet.
From Key and Peele, yeah.
All right,
After-
keep rolling.
After Tatsu, we have the man, the myth, the absolute unit, Riley, also known as Ziggy on the server, the voice of Zach.
Heck yeah. Primary billing.
Thank you.
Woo!
Hey, Jake, have you seen my hamster?
Well,
What?
last I
No,
checked,
no,
we
no,
had
no, 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 no.
extracted it from Guardian's asshole, and then it ran off, and I haven't
That
seen
was
it
the
since.
gerbil.
That was
The
true.
class gerbil.
Hey, same thing,
And now
right?
my hamster's missing.
I'm so confused.
I
Well,
would like
somebody
it
didn't
to,
watch the blooper reel.
I would like it to be known that on
Oh,
my notes
okay.
I have a note here that says, if asked who your favorite character is, answer Mr. Nutty.
I was watching the bloopers on a stationary bike at the gym, and I was like crying so hard from
Yeah.
laughing. I had to pause the bike and just sit there with tears in my eyes. It was
Yeah.
amazing.
Shameless plug. Go watch the Hyborean blooper reel. All right, let's
It
move it on.
it is amazing. I will
And
say.
the looking back.
And the looking back,
And-
yes.
Better yet, you know the channel that we're on right now? Just go watch everything.
Yeah, why
If
not?
you would,
Yeah.
kindly
What?
like and subscribe and hit the bell so make sure you receive notifications. But it doesn't matter because YouTube won't fucking give them to you anyway.
Don't forget about the
Yep.
Ko-Fi support.
And the
Oh, yeah,
Ko-Fi
get-
support. Yeah, give me that.
Rolling.
Give me that cha-ching. Give me that. I need it for
Watch
Give me the
Odd
money.
Man Out. Watch Odd Man Out because there's going to be a new season of that
Hey,
coming
hey,
out
hey,
at
hey,
some
hey,
point
hey,
eventually.
I have a thing for that. Shush
Ah,
you. After Riley and this just debacle of an introduction,
It's
we
so
have someone who can form chemistry with someone hundreds of miles apart, never needed to be in the same room, probably the second part of the most impressive voice acting duo we have in this call right now. We have Feather.
Yes.
Dark Feather, Flying
I'm trying
Feather.
to play
Hi, Feather.
Roblox while doing this.
You know,
Is it
Feather,
Defender?
I,
Is it Roblox Halo?
There's a Roblox Halo.
Yes.
So, Feather, I ended up showing Hyborean
boy.
Brotherhood War to my cousin
What?
the other day. He's on a server, Balecore. And he is the guy who introduced me to Halo and basically got me started on Machinima. So I showed him that. And he said you were the best voice actor, the best performer in the entire production. So I just thought you should know that.
Holy shit, that means a
It's
lot.
high praise, yeah.
Yeah.
Before I even continue, Yoka, like, can we give like a silent round of applause to Riley and Feather for just
For totally owning it.
Who's making noise? Who's making noise?
Did somebody say gremlin?
Oh, speaking of gremlin, we have the gremlin, the screamer of all screams,
The goblin!
Who I am very happy is here today because she missed out on the Brotherhood War one, and I'm
sorry.
No, it's okay. I know you were busy. It's good. I am just super jazzed to have you here today because everybody who watched Hyborean, everybody had something to say about you playing Evil Chen, and so that was one of my favorite parts of the entire production.
Excuse you, the canonical name is Gremlin Chen. Thank you very
okay.
much.
If it's not canonical because I didn't come up with it, but I'll let that slide because I like it.
Can we get a petition up in the comments to make Gremlin Chen the official canonical name for Evil Chen?
Or at least a joke about it at some point.
I will only vote for the name Roid Rage, bitch.
Christ!
Roid Rage? Isn't that like every Spartan female?
No.
Here's the thing. That
Just
wasn't
every
recorded as. In case anyone didn't know this, that was not recorded as a blooper. That was me reading the line ahead of me and then reacting.
Yeah.
Jesus. Roid Rage much, bitch? Christ.
Delivery is so good.
Stated before, if you have not watched the bloopers, please, for the love of all that is holy,
That's my best
go and watch them. You will be like me and be in tears at the gym and have at least a couple people look at you going, is he okay?
Unless you're me, who's disappointed with myself this time around, man.
There's always next
I was
time.
stressed. I didn't give any good bloopers, man.
Well, okay, yeah, I mean, stepping up a little bit, but also you were great. But then finally, to round out the introductions, last but certainly least, the man who was killed again by a chronicler, the man who is probably the least knowledgeable about Discord, yet somehow annoyed him enough to be a Discord moderator. Everyone's probably, like, let's see, second, third.
Hey, bro, are you introducing yourself right now?
Yeah.
And
Oh, okay.
the host of this panel, me.
Yeah. And now we have introduced everybody. It only took 18 fucking minutes. And that is exactly how every single thing we do goes. And I don't get me wrong, I love it to death. It's awesome. Yeah.
It's
that
how we
being
roll.
said, we've only got an hour and 40 before Obi and Feather have to go. Winners.
Welcome to the rice fields.
All right, so we're rolling with the questions. So I'm gonna start off.
Also,
with
Block, if you talk over me one more fucking time, your head is going up your ass.
Would that be with Mr. Nutter or without?
Without. He doesn't get the pleasure.
One day he'll realize he isn't funny.
Ah! Call back!
Damn.
You know, that's the line she uses to prep for recording Chen, too, because it was Chen's first line. So I hear it over and over and over again. I love that line. It is so good.
You know, I had a question I was gonna ask, but now I have another one. Block, how does it feel to get fucking owned?
I love you!
You know, it seems that it's probably second nature to him. I mean,
I'm gonna shut up now.
Winners, bring on the questions. We need to get moving.
Block, we can't have you shutting up because this question is actually for you and Obi and Nyoka. Last we saw Fireteam Corsair, they were busy doing a hands-on lesson about war crimes. Switching from, like, normal people to war criminals, back to normal people, back to war criminals, that takes a lot of skill to be able to go from evil to good again. What was that recording process like, and how are you able to sort of shift your mindsets from being war criminals to being people again, and back and forth and back again and forth again?
Also, how
did somebody say war criminal?
No, you're good. I just want to. He's so scared. I'm not that intimidating.
Maybe slightly.
So I want to add on to that. What was your guys' feeling about where those guys were left in the aftermath of everything? And let's take it one at a time. Block, I'll let you go first.
Okay. First off, did somebody say war crimes? Just forget the joke. Just secondly, really interesting is the best summary I can give it. It's Hadley's very much like a very
Hey guys, it's the bitch who turned you.
Hi, honey. No, I have no comment on the wonderful individual.
You're just gonna sit here?
Yeah, no
okay,
comment.
that's cool. Okay, sorry,
enough.
Block, continue, please.
The thing is with like switching character like that, it's very much, it's a little bit from an acting perspective, a little bit like Whiplash, because you go from it's almost like playing different characters, like from how Hadley was in Brotherhood War compared to how I played him mostly through like Hyborean here, was totally different than the character that was set up.
Yeah.
Which, you know, part of the story, you know, that's how it goes.
Mm-hmm.
And then get to play basically a third character, one that's now living with horror and PTSD.
Yeah. And
that's
the Hadley we'll have going forward into the void whenever we get to make it. How do you feel? Hopefully, I'm not stepping on Winter's questions. How do you feel about the arc Hadley has gone on from being so super confident, maybe overconfident and cocky and like almost elitist, to being brought down and having like all of his perspective totally changed, his confidence shattered? How do you feel about that?
Block before you answer. Crod, I swear to God, if you step on one more of my questions, your head is going so far up your ass.
My turn. Yeah, I'm sorry. I thought it was
No,
interesting.
Okay.
I'm getting revenge for Block.
Okay, so the main thing is I love it a lot. I love the direction that Hadley's going in, because I really want to play the character like him starting like next time I play him, he's gonna be basically a broken man and like a shell of his former self. And then what I would like to see is him grow, like him gain his confidence back, but now he's reined in because he's humbled now.
Yeah.
So he's still like, he becomes like a confident like wisecracker, but it's like reined in where now he's a lot more of a team player.
Yeah.
Like
he's gonna be a lot less. He's gonna have a lot less of that elitism that he had as being a Spartan, I think. So I am looking forward to.
Who's that one of the jackass Spartans from Spartan Apps and Halo 4?
I mean, there's a couple to pick from.
One of those guys. I want Hadley to come from one of those guys, because that's kind of what I based the character off of when I read the script for the first time, and like what Kron told me about Hadley, like that. I want to go from that to I want to turn him into kind of like a little bit more of a wisecracking Jerome. Like that would be like where I would like to take him.
I agree.
Like eventually, and that's where I hope his journey goes. And I like the way the journey has gone so far. Like especially like transitioning from each point, which I don't want to my own horn, but I think I did pretty good between each of the separate.
I think everybody would agree with that. Yeah, I think everybody would agree.
In terms of flipping back and forth between War Crime Scott and Spartan Scott, like it was definitely a lot more muted performance as compared to Laughing Block or Nyoka with their version of Hadley and Chen, and even Silva, I'd say. The way I was going about it is like having it as more as something familiar, but at the same time, what is that? Like almost Uncanny Valley-esque, where it's like, okay, you know that this is Scott. It sounds like Scott, but there's just lack of warmth. It's exactly. Lack of warmth there. And I totally didn't want to have to come up with some sort of dark undertone voice. The already guttural growl that Scott does.
Yeah, no, when writing that, I kept for all of Corsair. I kept their original voices in mind, but just twisted their words. And I think all of you did a very good job with that. You guys sound like the people who you used to be, and yet like a dark version of them. I was particularly fond, Obi, of the way you really cracked down on that mean aspect that he's got, with all of his support for his team taken away, and just focusing on the brutality type of leadership that he did from then.
Yeah, just go full on drill sergeant Scott.
Yeah, definitely.
Scott.
For sure.
Okay, Nyoka, you'd be the last member of Corsair here, because sadly Kat isn't here today. We almost had everybody.
I did have some for Kat, but I'll
It's
have
still
to.
possible she might show up in a while, but we're not. She's not sure. Anyway, Nyoka, go ahead.
Yeah.
Well, luckily for me, the stretch between regular Chen and evil Chen is not that different because she's kind of unique. So honestly, the process I went through was, when I play regular Chen, I think about the pretty explosions, but when I'm evil Chen, I think about all the bloodshed.
Oh look, pretty explosions and blood and gore.
Murder!
What happens if they combine with each other? Do split into two different Chens? Do you just split in half and then there's just two Chens, evil Chen and good
show up.
Chen?
You don't want me to go Norman
There are
Osborn.
two Chens inside you. Everybody seen that?
Chen is
there
like
are
the
two wolves inside you meme. Yeah.
There are two Chens. The one
of
that
them are
like
gay.
blood.
Chen is like the
one that likes
lollipop
explosion.
chainsaw of Spartans.
Yeah.
Out there, put your headphones in. I can get you in on the call. You want to do that?
There are two Chens inside you.
I can help you.
Join us,
I'm
Alyssa!
currently playing
Join us. I actually,
Join you. They're all saying join you.
I legitimately have
Join
questions
us.
written
One
for
of
Yes!
you.
us.
She's gonna do it.
One
Okay.
of us.
Let me
Yay!
pause recording
I
here.
actually-
Mrs. Whitman.
Whittington. Jesus.
Whittington. I can't speak today.
Did you take
You
your
are-
camera off, honey?
Block, you
Oh,
are
Oh,
not.
no, there you are. Okay. It
There,
just
no,
lagged out.
there they go.
Jake, I didn't know that you had moved in with Walt Whitman's wife.
No. I did much better than that.
Walter White.
She looks great for 160.
I am the danger.
Or,
Fuck you, Riley.
God.
Do you have a
Actually, this joke isn't even
no,
accurate.
she just said "fuck you, Riley."
Yeah.
God, we're all bad at listening.
Okay. All right.
I'm not. I'm
Hold
fucking
on.
listening. I've been listening this whole goddamn time.
We have a.
I'm not high
yeah,
enough.
yeah,
We're getting high.
I knew you were high, you motherfucker.
I'm not high yet.
I don't know what I'm
It will
doing.
be very shortly.
Like
This
goes
is
like,
like
well, I'm not high enough yet. And then proceeds to yell, I'm not high yet.
I'm not.
I don't even need to host that event. This entire thing writes itself.
Can you guys hear her?
I don't know if you
Yes.
guys fucking
Yes, we can.
Yeah, we can.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
Can you guys see your video?
We see your lovely
Yeah.
smug face,
Looking
and now we see her lovely face.
Yay!
Okay.
God's sake.
Oh my
So-
god.
So for a late addition currently
Not-
to
are
the
we
video,
recording yet?
we've got. Are we recording?
Yes.
No!
Yes, we are.
Good.
Wait, were we recording when I took a rip?
Yeah.
That's right.
People aren't good at communicating.
Okay. Anyway, yeah. We
This is
have
obviously way better.
for the first time the Lifebringer herself. I forgot to close my fucking door again.
And the real director in all of this. Let's be real here. The real god of the world. We have the all amazing Alyssa. Thank you for joining us. I had stuff written for you, so I was prepared. I for once was prepared for a surprise. That's
Okay.
a lie. I'm never prepared for a surprise.
Before we get into any of that, we are now 30 minutes in, which means, again, Feather and Obi only have so much time left. Nyoka, did you finish everything you wanted to say about Chen? Because I'll just splice in right here.
Nyoka, can you give us, since someone wasn't recording, Gremlin Shen for the chat, please?
You okay?
You're still muted.
Yeah, okay, you're still muted.
Yeah, I knew that. I'm sorry.
Sure you did.
Totally knew that. Okay, one second. Blood.
There it is.
There you go.
That one's for you.
I mean,
That's
never
one for
got
you,
that.
fam.
I'm so glad I was able to make use of that. That is so great.
Oh my god.
Oh, it is amazing.
Okay.
Jumping down for some questions. Let's get Riley. It's your big time to shine, buddy. So this is for Feather and Riley, and this is I think you guys could already sort of tell where this question is going to be going, but the people are absolutely demanding to know. What do you guys have any tips on how to get such good chemistry when you? I mean, this is the most you're going to interact with each other.
Mhm.
Is this live stream? People are generally demanding any tips, any ideas for how you get that chemistry.
I don't. Because we don't record together, right?
Mhm.
There's not really a good answer on how to like get chemistry with another actor. The trick here is casting. Jake fucking nailed it. He just brought us together and like shit was recorded and it came across that naturally because it is that natural. Like that is just an unbelievable ear for voice talent and putting people together correctly, and that's all on him. That's not. I can't take any credit for it outside of just my regular voice acting.
My heart is gonna burst. Thank you.
But it's all true though.
It is true.
All
It
of
is.
it.
There's no way to like that's not like
Mhm.
like tooting your horn. That's just fact, really. Like it's just when it comes to that for actors like us, it's all about just sometimes people just have voices have natural chemistry, and I think that was just a good call on you.
Mm-hmm. How do you feel about it, Feather?
I mean, my statement was going to be, it's because you yell at me while I'm voice recording. not yelling, but you're there just commenting, maybe shit posting about Star Wars, maybe in my DMs, but yes, that it's probably because there's direction there.
Yeah, no, having going in and starting to do director one-on-one directions with you guys was definitely the best move I have done in a really long time in terms of voice acting, because I haven't done that since like the first season of Odd Man Out.
Where's my direction,
No,
Jacob?
the last time before Brotherhood War that we had any sort of like direction with you present was at your house.
Yeah.
I remember through Odd Man Out
Yeah.
begging you to do that.
Yeah.
And you just didn't want to because you didn't see the purpose of it.
Yeah, well, somebody else, I don't remember who the fuck told me, somebody told me that I should be more hands-off about it and let the voice actors like
That
have
was me
input too.
also,
Yeah.
incidentally.
And then I just was like, okay, and then I listened to nothing else that you told me. But no, does it feel cathartic to know that you were right?
No, I'm too used to it.
Fuck you!
You heard it here, folks. Riley, the most humble of all of us.
Okay.
Well, I'll say one thing.
What can I say?
Is that it took some getting used to from my end for you giving direction, because the first time that you started doing that, we like literally got into a 3-hour fight.
Yeah, we did.
Like,
Excuse you, what?
like we got into a huge argument.
Okay, this is what, 2015 we did the voice acting for Lifebringer?
Yeah, but you didn't do the directions for Lifebringer. You did it for Brotherhood War and Aftermath. Brotherhood War was the one where we got in a fight.
Yeah, you're probably right.
And
You know, I'm gonna cut you off quick. This is gonna lead right into a question I actually had written. We tend to get Kron's perspective on directing constantly, but I'm curious, what's it like living with the director and going through what he does? So please continue with the story.
he's a narcissist.
It comes with the territory, okay?
I wouldn't know any high school stories about you maybe yelling your name across the stage as you accepted your high school diploma and
I got
not getting
an
your high school
ovation.
diploma as a result.
I got an
Sure
ovation.
did.
It worked
It
out.
was the greatest. It was hilarious.
It was so good.
But
Yeah,
it plays
look at
into
me!
the,
Look how great
hold
I
on.
am!
Hold
as
on.
I take
We're not-
It really does play
chill,
into the
chill, one at a
accusation of
time.
narcissism.
Yeah.
Well, like, and I think also like, getting used to. I didn't know anything about machinimas until we started dating years and years ago, and like he originally cast me like when we first started dating in Biker on 3, and he put me as a love interest, and I'm like, you don't. And one, he's terrible at writing love interests.
Yeah.
Even that. But like it was so not me at all.
It wasn't.
But we just kind of were starting to get to know each other. So
That ear
and
for
then
casting you guys were just talking about, that was not something I was born with. That is something that was developed. So
and then
yeah.
and then he like it was before he started like really reaching out externally for voice actors was when he cast me for Lifebringer. And like other than people he went to school with. And
yeah,
like,
for years it was just like what, 12 of us, and
Yeah,
then your
something like that.
siblings.
yeah, and like I always thought the Lifebringer
Your
was
dad
super.
occasionally.
And my dad.
Yeah.
And my mom. Yep.
I didn't know your mom was in any of them.
Biker on, and she
You know
played.
what? I think I did know that.
She played Sid in Border War.
That's right.
Yeah.
The
I'm sorry to keep interrupting you.
No, you're good.
Fine Riley.
I mean, if anyone's gonna have a rivalry, it's these two. He did kill her after all.
But like
it really do be like that sometimes.
I mean, she took everything away from him.
Yeah, that's true.
yeah, like I conquered a world and stuff. It's not like it's fine.
It's not a big
enjoyed
deal.
it
No big
quite a
deal.
lot.
No hard feelings.
And
But
we're calling Jacob the narcissist.
Get called out. Get called out.
but
Just kidding. I love you, babe.
anyways,
I'm starting to
but-
see how this direction argument went.
Yeah. Also, Riley,
But
we
when-
have lost camera on you, just so you know.
I know. I turned it off intentionally for a second.
Okay, I know what you're doing.
but like when I first got into Lifebringer and like that character, I always thought it was super interesting because it was kind of a level of like mental instability that was fun to get into, but also slightly relatable in the sense of like the majority of the people around me have like disorders and things of that nature. And so I thought it was something to like channel. And also like when I was younger, like when I first started playing it like 7 years ago, it was always like fun to be edgy and stuff. I mean, now it's just a little bit more of like I just like enjoy
Being
the
a bad
character.
bitch.
Yeah.
Yeah. And that and
You
this
heard
is
it here,
another
folks.
casting I'm very
Don't
happy with.
we all?
Yeah.
She enjoys Morbin.
Yeah. Okay,
Right
so
here.
real quick
One more
before we
goddamn thing.
yeah. It's
Enjoy
it's
Matt
horrible.
Smith. That's a difference.
Yeah. Okay, so real quick before we keep talking about the Lifebringer because she ain't going anywhere. I want to look at again a couple of the questions for Obi and Feather just so we make sure we get those.
Oh,
So-
I had them up. It was just such a perfect segue into that one. We had a fight for 3 hours. I'm like, oh, you don't say.
Yeah, I'm sure
But-
all of you
Tell
liked
us
having
more.
the tea. Okay, so
that was. I want a book. Do you have? Because I do have a question for Obi specifically.
Take it
And
away.
then I could jump to
God.
Feather. Because I have at least two for everybody. Obi. First of all, I'm sorry for calling you the second most liked Discord moderator. You're the fifth. The real question is, Scott has gone from Marine to ODST to Spartan to now some made-up Captain, Admiral, Sergeant, Spartan, Master, Sir of the Infinity. What has that been like portraying? Just for all that time throughout Scott's life so far? Chronicler. What's it been like?
I mean, it's really been an interesting journey in and of itself. Is like when Jacob first asked me to voice Scott, I wasn't. I thought it was just gonna be for the remake, like Generation and Omega Halo, and then that'd be the end of Scott. The next thing I know, hey, I'm also doing Brotherhood War. I'm gonna make Scott a Spartan. Like, you fucking serious? Holy shit!
And that's where the segue came for when we did Final Farewell, which was the segue between him becoming an ODST to eventually a Spartan. I'm so glad. So, yeah, like that must have surprised you the most and stuff. Just like, holy shit, this is like
absolutely,
it's actually happening. You know?
Yeah, it's like again, yeah, sure. Scott is like I mean, like he's a Marine, and then ODST is like, yeah, sure, people like him and whatnot, but it's like he's not really a main character. He's just like as we initially had him, a mauve shirt. But the next thing we know, oh yeah, he's becoming one of the next gen Spartans, and he's going to be leading his own fire teams. Like, holy.
Yeah. You know, and originally for Brotherhood War, that wasn't even the plan. The role was going to be filled by some guy named Spartan Abraham, whose character I forget the details on. But then when we got to looking at Omega Halo and carrying over Scott, I was like, that could be really cool. Yeah. And it was.
I remember going over. Yeah, and I remember going over that, and I was going like, "Oh yes, this would be fucking brilliant," because so many people loved Scott in Omega Halo and stuff. So I knew it's like, "Oh yeah, people are definitely gonna be loving this and stuff." But of course, it was always about making sure that okay, so how do we get the jump from here to there? And so that's how Final Farewell came about and all that. So that of course we made sure that okay, this is how he gets to this, and then you're about to see him lead his own fire team in this. So that was like that was the big step and all that, and it was great to see that so many people were very open to the idea of seeing him get a more major role again. So it was really great.
And if anyone's going to take on all that responsibility, it's Scott. He's so cool. I really like Scott.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Almost as if we made Scott a Discord moderator for a reason.
I mean, I don't know, but no, it's like on the overall, it's like it definitely adds like another perspective to the whole Spartan legacy journey. Is like, well, yeah, sure, you could say that it's also the viewpoint from Guardian, from when he was a monitor to now allied to humanity. But then again, the journey of Scott going from the second war through like whatever the hell he was doing during the Reach trilogy,
third war,
the third war, all the way up to the Reformation Revolution. And
I'm calling it the Reformist War internally, so that's finally got a name now. And then as far I'm calling the next part with the end of Brotherhood War 2 Hyborean the War Against the Lifebringer, but that's a little bit of a mouthful, so I'll figure something else out. But anyway, hit us with another one, winners.
So Feather, I'm gonna need you to put down Diablo for a second.
Now, which Diablo is it? Is it 2 or 3?
It's 3 because I'm playing Diablo 2 with my boyfriend and his brother, so I'm not allowed to play that one.
Are you playing Resurrected?
Yes.
Okay, is it good?
Yes. Yeah, it's actually really cool.
Okay, I wasn't sure about it. Anyway, go on.
You heard it here, folks. Darkfeather endorses Resurrected.
Yes, not sponsored yet. But so we all
by Blizzard.
true. Yeah, well, actually, I take that back. Of all the sponsors, not them. But for Feather, during the Spartan Legacy, we all know that Denver is an absolute unit. But it just so happens she's dating the absolute unit. We saw inklings of sort of this like tension building in Brotherhood War between, well, even actually no, yeah, Brotherhood War between Denver not being a Spartan, Zach being a Spartan, but it really appears to sort of come to a head in Hyborean. Can you reflect sort of on that journey for Denver and how you were able to portray that like seemingly lack of confidence in yourself?
So, reading the script, I actually really enjoyed that Denver wanted to be a Spartan and then got turned down because of the not being compatible with it. And I like that journey through it because it gave more emotion and it allowed for me to put more thought into the character rather than, oh, she's a, you know, a, just a random soldier that somehow has a crush on a Spartan. But the point being is that I really enjoyed that journey because the direction there was confidence, no confidence, and then slightly more confidence,
I would call it
realizing
acceptance.
Yes.
That's
Yeah.
acceptance of herself, which I think made her stronger in the end. Also, I would like to mention Zach had the crush. Denver was just there for it. Yeah, she,
Yeah, pretty much.
Feather. You played Denver like at the start of Brotherhood War, just very in charge and confident with herself up until she couldn't become a Spartan. I liked that very much. It was nice to see her come all the way back around to it at the end of Hyborean.
Yeah, that was also really excellent.
But
my favorite.
it was fun because it was an entire journey, and it was especially a journey with my voice in general because I have never cried or done any of that. And that was both hard and slightly embarrassing, crying in the middle of my room or at least trying to cry in the middle of my room and having my father downstairs while doing that and hoping he's not hearing any of that.
Yeah. Well, you did a really good job.
And soon enough, your dad sends a text, "Why the fuck are you crying?"
Who's getting the shotgun today?
I've actually come downstairs a few times and he's like, I heard you yelling, like you were making grunting noises and you were yelling like profanities. What were you doing? And I'm just like, voice acting?
Zach boy. Why are you so mad at him?
Yeah, actually that's what he said once, I'm pretty sure.
You want to know something funny? I use that to advantage in my family because, like, whenever I actually am angry and I just want to be left alone, I can be like, "I'm recording."
Yeah, there you go.
Like, in my family, they'll just leave me alone. It's beautiful. It's a good way to get peace and quiet.
I
mean, that's
a red sign for mine.
That's a great way of looking at it. I was just looking for something. If that's it, Feather, I do have I have another question for you, Riley, and I guess Kron in this case.
Okay.
Regarding, of course, Denver and Zach. This is a fun one. What does a day in the life of retired Zach and Denver look like? Kron, you are not allowed to answer until the other two answer.
Fair enough.
Pegging.
I want
Pegging.
Oh!
Pegging.
Yes, that is canon. We talked about it in
Yeah.
Let's
Yeah.
Oh boy.
You brought that up in my 2021 birthday bash video. That was the first time you'd mentioned it, and I was like, that makes a shitload of sense.
Yeah.
Oh boy.
Yeah. No, it sure does.
But no, keep talking about it.
I
Not
mean,
pegging,
not
but
first
like...
thing in the morning, obviously. But
I don't know.
Sure? Are you
I'm
sure?
thinking maybe we don't wake up and strap on, if you will.
I don't know. Why
Seems
not?
A little,
Oh
that's just
no.
That's real vigorous activity to have before you've gotten your morning started, if you know what I mean.
Oh,
M-rated
my
content
God.
aside.
Oh no.
I don't know. I feel like we should have more of it.
I think they take a nice bubble bath together.
Yeah,
I
right?
like that. That's cute.
That's nice. Zach should do more soft things.
Chroniclers
Because what Zach is
anti-pegging.
gonna want
Getting
to do
sudsy
when he
while in the
retires
bath.
I
is
just sent a message that said Chroniclers anti-pegging IRL. I'm not anti-pegging. I'm anti-you pegging me. But that is off topic. Let us continue on, please. So, again, Zach is now a counselor in the UCA.
Are we sure we don't want to unpack that as a group? Cause
not in this.
No.
We're coming down
okay
on the
right
hour
now.
there. Yeah. Okay, so
all right.
Zach is a counselor in the UCA. Denver is a general in the restructured UNSC military. What do you think a day goes by for them like?
I mean, God, the shark. I just can't. Man, I'm too hard to look at the shark and answer questions.
I'm sorry.
Okay. So, we wake up and, retired Zach has to be just, like, the neediest motherfucker. Because, like, he's never had a feeling. So, like, I have to imagine retired Zach wakes up and Denver doesn't have any blanket, right? Because he's just taking it all.
I can see that.
And just, like, continues to do, like weird, very soft shit for the rest of the day. Intermittently, like, working out and combat training because it's the only way he knows how to pass the time. Aside from that, Wait, you mean... Zach's a counselor?
Yeah.
Like emotional counseling?
No, counsel.
No.
COUNIC. Like, yeah, like he's part of the UCA council.
He's
The
okay.
kind
so
that
he's-
dismisses Reaper threats.
Yes, that.
Yeah, right.
Ah,
okay.
yes, Hyborean.
I represent veterans at the VA.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Well, in that case, the answer is mostly Zach doesn't do a lot of council work. They just kind of call him and ask for him when they need him. And most of the time, he's, like, trying to find books that he likes. Or, maybe write a poem. Or go to the gun range. It's some weird mixture of, like, extremes of activity between him, like, trying to, like, become a human and him being like, well, I'm bored of doing that and I have to go shoot some thing.
How many pizzas does he order on the daily?
Oh God, no, don't make him do it. Don't make him do it. I don't want to hear the boneless thing again.
Boneless.
No. It does depend
Among
entirely
Us.
on the bone content of the pizza. If the pizzas in question are in fact boneless,
God damn it, no.
Among Us.
he may order 1 or 2 boneless pizzas a day.
How many pizzas do you think a Spartan can go through?
Oh my God, a lot.
Realistically, probably
Quite
at
a
least
lot.
2 a day.
He eats a Buffalo Wild Wings every day. He likes that mango, that mango habanero paired with that garlic parmesan.
Yeah, it would be really cool to see Zach enjoying the civilian pleasures, though. Like he can now go to a restaurant and have like a burger instead of a fucking MRE.
The problem is that he's huge, though. He's he's gigantic.
He's still gonna be like 6 feet tall out of armor.
Hey.
He's a basketball player. It's fine.
If an Italian,
of armor.
You underestimate the powers of an Italian grandmother. They can and will shove food down their throat.
See, but I think the important thing to know about Zach is that he can only try
you get
to
food
enjoy
now.
the civilian pleasures.
Yeah.
He can never quite do it.
Like a boomer grandpa.
Yeah, right.
Oh my God.
Like another thing that I always kind of think of is like now that he's a
nice and
civilian,
enjoyable.
I always kind of, being that he's had all these augmentations to him, I kind of imagine that sometimes he'll like reach out to grab a glass and like just shatter it just because of his grip is just so iron hard, or like bend some of the utensils just because like he's trying to be like really gentle and then he just like, oh, I need to grip it harder. Oh crap.
I mean, maybe he's been a Spartan for like 50 fucking years. Less discounting cryo sleep, of course.
Mm-hmm.
But I feel like, aside from maybe like a mistake, he's actually got a pretty good flow on his motor control. He'd have to, because what's different from like picking up a fork or loading a magazine, No, but I think Riley is absolutely right. I think it'd be like Frodo after he came back from his quest, like he's trying to integrate again, but it's not quite working all the way. I would like to explore that sometime. That could be really cool.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe between now and the 6 or 7 fucking years it's going to be before I get to make the void. Riley, how do you think he gets along with Isaka since they're both on the council?
Zach is really happy that he doesn't have to deal with the daily goings-on of the council, and they only call him when they need him.
But if he did, he's gonna have a lot to do because the UCA has just been formed, right? So maybe a couple years down the line, he can sit back a little more. But right now, he is needed, and so is Asaka. So how do you think they get along?
I think Zach is probably so like genuinely disinterested in the non-military like affairs of like the UCA, and because he like outside of just like doing the thing that he's supposed to be doing, lacks any sort of like political philosophy or ideology. He probably just like looks at Asaka, understands that like she genuinely wants what's best, like, and can then just intellectualize that out until he's just not thinking about it.
You know, I actually...
He's just like, well, the civilian sector. This is your thing. You do that.
Exactly.
I'll do my military stuff. I'm good with that.
So I wrote that with the idea in mind that Zach actually chose that because he could still make a difference without having to be, you know, on the battlefield. Now, whether or not that choice is working out for him is a whole nother thing. I think he would at least try, and I think the fact that he is not a politician would actually kind of make him better at it in a way. Like, maybe less with
I think the issue with that, though, is I can't see Zach in a fucking boardroom.
Yeah.
Like, even if he wants to be. I just think he's too damaged. Like, I think that he could sit there and he could try to, like, think about, oh, what do I think is best for people? But he wouldn't be able to take his judgment seriously because you just think about...
Problem call. Future Skype call.
No, I dig that. I really like that idea.
We're like... Oh, that distracted the fuck out of me. I don't remember what I was saying. Oh, he can't trust his judgment because of the Spartan programming. He thinks he's like, I don't understand what real people need, etc. And so I have this idea that while he would want to do more and would try to do more, it would become pretty quickly apparent to him that, like, he is the military counselor. He's there to make sure this shit doesn't happen again because their, you know, new defense force doesn't get infiltrated by, you know, like the enemy. That's, yes.
Bad actors, yeah.
And
you want to rephrase that?
And
there?
like,
you want to rephrase that?
A full-time job.
No, I mean bad actors is like people coming in intentionally trying to fuck things up.
Yeah,
Not bad voice actors.
Sure.
Yeah, okay.
Sure.
Bad turn of the phrase. Anyway, go on, Riley.
Anyway, I think, you know, it's even then, right? Once he realizes what his purpose is there, he tried to turn that into a full-time job. He just couldn't make it happen. Right? In the end, he's spending a lot of time, like, just delegating administrative work, and so, like, he just delegates the rest. And that's just what he'd do.
He
doesn't want to sit there and fill out papers. He's like, oh, I found some people I can trust. They'll handle it, and they'll come to me if they need any.
Riley.
Inevitably, he's too much of a man of action to go sit behind a desk for any meaningful period of a day.
Do you think he went into that because Logan did?
Oh, yeah. Dad did it, I should do it too.
Yeah.
But then he gets there and he can't do it because he was never like a normal, regular person.
Yeah. I like that idea. We're going to have to make that down the road. I dig that.
Now, I do have to bring just one thing up because it was just mentioned earlier about Isaka. Unfortunately, the voice actress, Ashley Ashwara,
is in a total different time zone. Yeah, I really wish
total different time zone than
we miss you, Ashley. Hope you're doing well.
We miss you, Ashley. Yeah, I just wanted to bring
Fix your time zone.
Yeah. Oh, no. But yeah, like, I mean, she, of course, obviously she couldn't be here for answering any questions and stuff, but I definitely think it's good to acknowledge that she did such an excellent job with Hyborean as well.
Yes, absolutely.
Especially her interactions with everyone, especially because with Brotherhood War and Aftermath and stuff, she didn't have as much interactions with some of the other characters aside from brief ones with Zach and then, of course, Garrett, of course. But here we got to really see her interact with other people, which was really great to see. And I kind of like that, of course, that even after of all the things that she kind of like led to happen, of course, is that we actually get to see her kind of like be able to do what she wanted as long as she, of course, doesn't take anything too far and all that. And so just it's great that Ashley was able to pull through with us and really deliver a great job and stuff. So,
as I've said before, she was one of my favorite characters to write for, and one of my favorite performances in the Lifebringer saga. Very pleased with what she did.
So as I had sent to Kron, I actually had about like 2 questions per person, because I had to prepare for some folks who may or not be
Before you do another
here.
question, did Feather have anything else to say in regards to what we were talking about?
One of the things that I actually thought about when we were talking about Zach and doing the counselor stuff and Isaka being there, I thought to myself, well, if Isaka like gets on Zach's case, Denver will just like come in real short to both of them and be like, "You better stop doing that."
I can see her being a mediator, yeah.
Tell her off the whole entire time, just yelling at her, being like, "Yeah, bitch. Well, here's what's wrong with you."
It's the meme of just like the cat sitting next to a salad, and then it's the 2 women, but it's Zach holding back Denver, and not the other way around.
Yes.
Yeah, you know, I really, gosh, we are coming up with a really good idea for a short here. I would love to see all these guys just doing their thing after Hyborean. We need to do that. I gotta think about that. Yeah,
that might be one of those things. I remember hearing a talk about like little like anthology shorts, something similar to that like sort of trilogy of shorts you did at Reach. So that might be a fun one to do in there.
Yeah, I'll talk more about my future plans in the video that comes out on Wednesday. I got a big thing going on for that. Anyway,
that'll be
just
fun.
like maybe just a short thing where we see the Spartans like they're it's like a parody of like the Enterprise, where they're like just going do 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 as they're like going off into the
bloopers. Did you watch? Because that was exactly what we had.
Obi, I think you're gonna. Obi gets to write it.
That's what I mean. That's what I'm referencing. I would actually kind of like to see them just kind of dick around in space for like a short of some kind.
I can see Hadley pressing the wrong button repeatedly. But no, so that was actually
caps lock.
That took a very like, I feel like a nice like wholesome turn after learning that Denver is canonically a Dami Mommy and Zach is very submissive. That being said. Yes, those words did exit in my mouth. You're welcome, Internet.
And now for something completely different.
Actually, yes. So I have some questions for everybody, unless I noticed when going through the fan questions, Kron, you had some specific ones for some people. So if you have any for Obi or Feather, I'm giving the floor to you for 2 questions and 2 questions only.
We need to get going because every time that we start a question, it goes on for like 20 fucking minutes, and our 2 guests are running out of time. So let's focus on them until we don't have anything else for him. Renvow had several questions for everybody in general. Question for Obi: what was it like playing a more aggressive tyrannic? Wait, no, we already did that. Kinda.
Yep.
Unless you had anything else you wanted. Unless anything else you wanted. Yeah. Okay. For Feather.
Go with a goatee.
Yeah. For Feather, when the time came for Denver's more emotional moments, particularly in Part 5 when she had to let Zach go, how did you manage to cry so convincingly?
That's a good question.
I'm pretty sure we had a conversation about this when I was trying to do it. I'm trying to figure out what was going through my mind because I was trying to get myself to actually break down slightly. I think what I ended up doing was I just kind of just put my boyfriend in that shoes and just kind of put that whole entire perspective there so that it was a little more emotional for me. If I remember correctly, that's what I did.
That's sweet. I like that.
What a dork in a healthy relationship.
Healthy relationships are great. You should try one, winners.
I'm working on it, actually. I just had a date yesterday.
Hey, congrats,
boy.
That being said, whether I say that in jest, your crying was like shocking. I don't want to say shockingly believable, but it was like
it was shockingly believable for a machinima.
Yeah,
very compared to anything else that I've ever fucking seen. That was amazing.
Like it almost feels like someone is like Kron specifically came up to your house, put you in the microphone, told you to cry. You didn't cry right, so he then proceeded to go, I don't know, like shoot your dog or something. And
I don't have a dog.
then you started crying. Well,
That's
not
fact.
anymore, you don't.
This is true.
But it was very believable, so hats off to you on that.
Yeah.
I have a fun question for everybody that I wanted to ask. Out of the entire series, not just Hyborean, but I mean going back to Brotherhood War, the whole war, Lifebringer War, Life War, War of Life Day, whatever you want to say it is. What is one thing that you change out of the whole thing? And I'm not saying to do anything out of spite to a certain writer in regards to a certain character that might have died.
If you've
but
got to, if you have to, I take that as feedback for the future. So, and since we are going to remake Lifebringer, I could work something in if you have suggestions. But please go. Yeah.
But also, there's also a way is to see like, if you wanted to like see a character that you played or another character you really liked sort of thrive more in this. Alyssa's just revving to go.
I think
I would say the biggest change I would want to see is have the story end at Brotherhood War and not continue.
I did say see your character thrive more, and that is the Lifebringer thriving.
Yeah.
So, shit.
Oh, jeez.
That gets blown up in the first assault. Roll credits.
Yeah.
Period. Done.
What about you, Block?
I don't know. For me, it's a little bit complicated because what I'd like to see is I would like to see, like, if anything, like the aftermath of like all of the characters is like all the trauma they've been through, like the last like time. Like, I'd like to see that like fleshed out more. Like, what's really like, how damaged are these people? Like after everything has been said and done.
Well, the good news is I can still do that.
And like the road to them recovering, maybe not like fully, maybe they'll never be the same, but
starting
like
down
them becoming better.
Yeah,
I guess is the best way to put it.
What about
Lions,
you, Lions?
What would you change? You and your multicolor room.
What can I say? It's fancy. I think one thing I just would like to see more is more light shed on how Isaka and Garrett are dealing with the aftermath of the Lifebringer's death and what their plans are, like how they're living their life after all of that, and like their views on the reformists versus the UNSC, which is gone, but basically just how they're living their life.
Don't mind me, just taking notes.
Nice notes. Because I mean, the last time we did see Garrett, he had a pretty sweet Hawaiian shirt on.
If only I could have done that. That would have been so good, dude. With the whole helmet and then just like a Hawaiian dad shirt. That'd be great.
I would just imagine now he's gonna do a director's cut. He's just gonna have a PNG of a Hawaiian shirt on him.
I mean, like, I could
with like a dad bod underneath.
Yeah.
I mean, I could just put on this.
Now we're talking. Yeah.
Now we're talking. Speaking of Garrett and retirement, Mega.
Yeah.
What would you?
Well, I mean, so looking back over everything and stuff, I was pretty much like over everything. I thought everything really turned out great for like everyone, of course, because that was the thing, is that we wanted to make sure that every character had some sort of good enough time in the limelight and all that. Especially like when we originally planned this out, and of course when Garrett and Isaka were made and all that. Originally the intention was that Garrett was just going to be some kind of random side character that was just going to be like a second command. The whole thing about him being a Spartan that Zach knew in the past wasn't made until a little bit later, when I came up with the idea, because I felt like there is an opportunity here that, like, okay, you have a second in command that looks really cool as shit, but it's like that's all he's gonna ever really be. And it's just like I feel like there could be something better that could be done that could also in turn make Zach really integral like to the war and the conflict and stuff. That's something that would really affect him. And that's of course when I came up with the idea about like making uh Garrett a Spartan, and then of course on top of that a Spartan that he knew. Which I'm so glad that Kron accepted the idea first of all, because of course all my ideas always had to go through him. There were so many iterations and stuff, some that were turned down, but then other that was like the one I'm so glad was accepted the most.
Can you remember anything that I turned down off the top of your head?
Wait, hold on. I have a question for both of you in a little bit.
Okay,
that'll go over that.
Okay, we'll get to that later.
But basically, you're pretty happy with everything we did with Garrett.
Pretty much, yeah. Like anything with Garrett and stuff.
It
like,
was such a good move.
Yeah,
yeah. It seriously was
really good.
And I think the one thing about it was that when especially I think because of course my favorite bit having played as him was mostly through Brotherhood War. Like of course I really loved doing Hyborean as well, because obviously with Aftermath I didn't get to do as much. I would say maybe that was, but that's probably one of the things is that I kind of wish I would have done a little bit more as Garrett in Aftermath, but that's just a little thing because I feel everyone else was more integral and more should have been more focused on. But yeah, like especially with Brotherhood War, I'll discuss this more later in regards to the question and stuff. But yeah, that was like one of the big things that I was just so proud of how everything turned out, and of course, especially like how the interactions between both me and Zach were like just such a huge, momentous scenes and stuff. Like those were the ones that I really poured my heart and soul to. When of course there weren't fucking planes in my background, fucking over every single scene that I was trying to do and all that. But yeah, like, and then of course in regards to other things, I felt everything else just really worked out for all the characters. Obviously there is maybe one little thing in Hyborean which actually Kron did mention about before in his looking back video, is that I felt like that Denver could have used a little bit more moments.
We're gonna get to that when we talk to Feather. We'll get to that.
Yeah, when we get to Feather, that's one of the bits where I feel like she could have been a little bit more independent and stuff, as mentioned looking back. But we'll get into that more and stuff.
We got some approval from Alyssa on that one.
You know, I'm always trying to do better, and that's one of the things that I have gotten better on, but I need to keep getting better on. But Obi, take it away. Anything?
It's like just with how this like each story played out, like it wouldn't really make much sense. But like I would have liked to have seen maybe a bit more downtime for like characters that aren't the main party, like Phoenix team. I mean, albeit it wouldn't really kind of clash with the overall pacing of the story. It really would slow things down. But like going forward with the potential anthology series, or even with the Void and whatnot, some things could happen there.
Yeah,
and that's really all. Like, because we always see our characters either at their best or at their worst. We just don't see them on that normal day-to-day basis. Like, what do they do when they're not getting shot at or shooting at things or committing war crimes on a daily basis?
I think there's definitely a lot of room to explore that. So the good news is I can still do it. So definitely noting all that down. I think that's all a really good idea.
Tatsu, what do you think?
Yeah, Tatsu, I'm eager to see what you have to say, because Manias didn't exist and all your Centurions died and Oversight got switched off. Actually, I should mention, I don't think anybody caught this as a result of my faulty camera work. The Centurions survived. You can see a couple of them in new yellow paint working on constructing a building, repairing a building at the very end. So the Centurions are still getting used by the UCA, which also implies that Oversight is getting used too. With that knowledge, Tatsu, shoot.
That's one less off the death board! Woo!
No, it's just been repurposed, but because they're really just all programming after that.
Yeah.
But the only thing that I like the whole thing as it was. Me personally, the only thing I might have added was the scene where Lifebringer was talking to her, the Hyboreans, like, and just talking about her own plans and whatnot. I would have added to maybe she's talking to like her own psyche as Manias. I mean, I know it sounds self-serving, but again, just as a side piece, because she played a human for a long, long time.
Yeah.
As Manias. So maybe in that section, maybe there's a slight bit of her like humanity, so to speak, that is counterpointing her.
Where the fuck was this when I was writing this a year ago? I could have worked that in easily. That's a really good idea.
So I mean, and it like has the whole conversation, and then she like goes to like punch him or something like that, and then it's gone.
Alyssa, any opinions on that?
I mean, I don't believe the Lifebringer has any real humanity, but I think that Manias was a really, like, Tatsumari did a really good job with that, with Manias, because, like, he seemed so, like, put together and somebody you could trust, and I think that came from the voice acting. And then it just made the twist even better. And I think for the Lifebringer, I don't think she would have humanity in the way that we would think of, like in the sense of like the human spectrum of emotion, but like she loved her Hyboreans in a similar aspect of like love, like in a similar, but it was never going to be. She was willing to risk their lives, essentially. So it was never like in love in the way that we would think about it.
Yeah, but even still, like, think about it this way though, because she played a human for so long, maybe there's like some part that kind of just hung around, not really necessarily stuck.
I get what you mean, because she had to fake it for like 8 fucking years.
Yeah,
some of that would have to fall in a little bit. I actually really like that idea. Now, of course, she is the Lifebringer and insane, so I see her having no problem in shrugging all of that off as soon as the time comes around. But yeah, who knows? Maybe a little bit of it came back to debate her. Maybe just a little bit.
Yeah, because in that conversation with her Hyboreans, this is my perspective of it, is like that's when the chinks in her armor started to show, as far as her own confidence in her plan.
Yeah, the confidence.
I mean, they were very tiny, but you know,
they were there.
just a little bit.
Yeah.
You were saying, Mega?
Also, I would also say that another kind of area where I think there was also some big, like as you mentioned, chinks in the armor, was when she was afraid of Zack, after when Zack is just literally beating the shit out of her at the end and stuff, that she was like showing real fear. Like for most of the time she was always so overconfident and like so full of herself and stuff, but then it's like when that moment when she was actually afraid that like holy shit she's about to fucking die and stuff, it's like that felt like more human fear and all that.
But did I die?
Yes.
Did we see the body?
You literally disintegrated. Yes.
Having had your soldiers kill the people
we don't see the body.
Because it disintegrated.
There's nothing to be buried, Jacob.
Because there's nothing left.
Hey, the Didact survived.
Yeah.
But I was a forerunner.
Hey, Feather, you got anything to say on this before it goes into a full-blown 3-hour argument?
Let's not compare our writers here.
What the change?
Yeah, anything you would do differently. Yeah. Because if you watch the looking back, you know that I feel a little bit of regret that I did not give Denver enough time to shine on her own. Do you agree with that? Thoughts?
Yes. And actually, since you were asking about like stuff maybe to change for specifically Lifebringer, I was really scrolling through the episodes as the rest of y'all were talking. It's very, very Zack-centric. It's basically only Zack. And after you have Lifebringer, it becomes like this whole entire cast of characters become much more important. Like, much, much more important. And it's like we go from singular important person to whole cast of characters, and it feels like there's suddenly like a weird disconnect between that we have a specific important person to multiple important persons.
Yeah, I
because
can feel that.
there's not much development for the others in Lifebringer except for Zach.
Yeah.
And Lifebringer or Hyborean?
Lifebringer.
Yeah. Well, and that again is something that I'll get to do properly because we are remaking Lifebringer. So, once we get to that, I definitely would like your input on it.
Yeah.
I don't want to have anybody fall to the wayside. I love all these characters, and I want to do them justice. So I got chances to make up for it. So, yeah.
For specifically Hyborean, for a actual thing is, yes, I do believe that Denver needs more time on her own. It's more bouncing off of Zach rather than her herself. For a non-actual commentary, please don't make me do any more hurt sounds.
No, you're good. I mean, I can't promise anything for the Lifebringer remake, but beyond that, I think you're pretty much done. Alyssa posted a message here. Let's see.
Here, let's.
I was super critical about how he wrote Teresa. Yeah, and that criticality. Is that a fucking word?
That's it. I don't know. Just go with it.
It sounds like from D&D, and I love it.
Basically, that definitely helped me out a lot because I needed some help with that, and so Alyssa was able to offer more pointers and stuff like that. I still didn't quite hit the mark, but I definitely think I've improved quite a lot since writing characters like Eno and Eno's predecessors. And I can still give Teresa that time because now she's got lots of time to shine. As a general in the reformed UNSC, she's calling a lot of shots, and I think we could definitely show off her strengths there. And again, with the remake of Lifebringer, I can have her go back and really kick some ass too. So yeah, I'll get it right.
I do appreciate how when you were going back through your past, all I could see was Alyssa's eyes just go boop.
Yeah.
Like just math. Yeah, that exact look.
Yeah. She does that a lot.
Now we know who the real director is.
Definitely helps.
And I will say, having gone through like the scripts too, because after like Kron finishes writing up, I'm the one who just goes through and just sees like, okay, let's see how this.
Yeah, I blame you for not catching it.
Well,
I'm kidding.
Well, I mean, like, I will say, like, how everything did turn out when looking over most of the scripts for each one. Everything turned out really great, but of course, there were occasions that was like I had to go through and like, maybe this has to be a little improved a bit. So that was like something that was great that I was able to catch on and all that. As well as, of course, like when you mentioned certain suggestions of how we changed various stuff, it was like, yeah, okay, this works a lot better because I was thinking, like, yeah, that didn't work so well when you play it in my mind and all that. So yeah, but I will say, yeah, for most of the bits and stuff, especially like the big one for me was when going through part 5 and knowing that the emotional moment with Denver having to let Zach go and stuff like that. Like, I was hoping in my heart is like, please, Darkfeather, please do this well. I want to see
you
it
doubted
come
her.
out so well.
I never did.
No, I did not doubt her. No, I did not doubt her. But I know, because the thing is, and this kind of goes back as to what I was saying about how in other machinimas, like, they're convinced crying and stuff like that. Like that, I've never really heard anyone do this. So that's why I was just like, I really hope this turns out well. I have faith in her, but it's like, please make sure this turns out well and stuff. And she really fucking did, and so that's what I was so happy about.
Yeah.
So
anything else you wanted to add, Feather?
No, that's pretty good.
Nyoka, anything you would have
Feather
changed
said shame.
That fucking Texas speech. Nyoka, anything you would have changed or added?
About the script or just the series in general?
In general.
All of it, yeah.
Honestly, I think, like, the only critiques I guess I have is based on other machinimas I've seen. I guess I would love, going forward, to see more original animation.
Oh, like Blender and stuff?
Yeah, if
Yeah.
you guys ever get like a team on that.
That shit is super expensive. There was actually some I wanted to do for Hyborean with Logan's death scene, but that ended up not
No, I
working
get
out.
ya.
Yeah. And it's
But
something, you know, it's
in
something...
terms, oh, I was just gonna say, in terms of more practical stuff, I really don't have any critiques other than I would love to hear more Hadley.
Yeah, well, we're gonna. I mean, Silva and Shen and
Yeah,
Hadley
no,
will have top billing in the Void.
Do you mind?
So.
Do you mind if
I'm
I chime
excited
in
for the Void.
a little bit on that? Like,
Yeah, go ahead.
Maybe.
So, there's a reason why Hadley didn't have a lot of lines this go around, and because Kron actually cut out a lot of Hadley, what he had planned for Hadley's line in terms of how many his lines. If you've noticed, Hadley had a lot less speaking lines this time around, other than like the general like battle chat. The reason why is because I was like super stressed out and I was super busy. My parents were going through a divorce and just with COVID and school was kicking my fucking ass.
Yeah.
So, which I'm not in school anymore right now. So, I was just in a really bad spot in my life, and Kron kind of like cut me a bit of slack.
You know, it worked. It really did.
That makes sense.
It worked. It still worked.
Because
even, like...
Hadley's inverted personality was quieter, colder, more calculating, and
the timing worked pretty good.
Yeah.
Like if there was any time for it to happen, that was probably the best production for it to happen.
Yeah.
However, going forward, I would like to like take a more active role in the community. If you know, I'm not on Discord a lot, just because I prefer voice chat. I'm not so social awkwardness when it comes to like when it comes to text chat for me.
Mean, the
like
rest
I just
of
don't.
us are too. So you're among your own kind.
I'd like to take more of an active role in the community and like creating stuff. And next time Hadley shows up, there's gonna be a lot more of Hadley probably.
That's
like
the plan.
there's gonna be a lot more speaking lines.
Yay!
Yeah, it's like the way I see it is that it just really accentuates whenever Hadley does speak. It's like
can we talk about the scream now?
Yeah.
Yes.
Actually, before we do, because that's going to be a whole nother conversation. Feather and Obi have 30 minutes left. There is, and Riley, as far as this question that we're on goes, I will definitely get back to you because I'm sure you have stuff you want to talk about for Zach.
Okay.
I
just have one really easy answer for you.
Okay. Yeah. We'll get to that real quick. One of Renval's questions for everybody, and I'm just gonna have Feather and Obi answer this because the rest of us can come back to it later. What were your favorite Hyborean moments? Well, that is super inspiring.
If you can think of something, if you can come up with something first, like by all means, go for it. Because I got.
I'm gonna be really honest. And we're gonna go back to this again. I really liked crying.
Yeah.
I mean, you gotta have a good cry.
Yeah.
Is your boyfriend that yet, or you
what?
just find it out now? What?
Yeah. My favorite moment with Denver was, I mean, don't get me wrong, that scene was really good. My favorite moment is when she came back to accepting herself as herself. That is something personally I have struggled with, accepting who I am the way I am. And to be able to take a character on a journey where she struggles with that, but then comes out on top and, you know, accepts the reality of things and yet still makes the most of all of it. I really liked that.
Can I chime in?
Yeah, go ahead.
Yes.
I actually was really blown away by Denver's punctured lung scene.
Yeah.
That was so amazing. I was so blown away by that. It was such good acting.
Yeah, that was.
But is that part of the thing that doesn't want to have happen again?
Yeah. So
there's two
fun
lungs.
fact. Little fun fact about that: the biofoam sound when the ODST Owens. When Owens injects the biofoam into her, I mix the sound of a fire extinguisher with a can of whipped cream. And that created the biofoam.
I thought I heard something like either shaving cream or whipped cream.
Did you actually record the whipped cream noise?
Oh fuck no!
Like,
No, I went and downloaded the
okay,
sound
I was
off
about to
of
say,
YouTube.
like, you didn't Foley it. Okay.
Well, I don't have a good enough.
You should have recorded.
I don't have a good enough mic to Foley, and I definitely don't have a fire extinguisher sitting around here.
It was
you need
like,
to.
yeah, that's a safety hazard.
There's sprinklers, you know.
Yeah, we have
Sprinklers
sprinklers.
won't do shit if it's an electric fire.
I mean, yeah, but in that case, I'm probably fucked anyway.
Of anything, what you could have done is you could have recorded whipped cream. You could have done. You could have done whipped cream mustaches, man. Come on.
Yeah, I know.
Back to the question at hand.
Obi, anything you wanted to say?
Pretty much just the whole like vault of light sequence.
Yeah.
Just the whole scenery in that to Corsair really engaging Phoenix, like Scott getting to do his big yell like Guardian, and then just afterwards just the decompress from being cured is like holy fuck, because we get Scott waking up and calling out for Corsair, we get Hadley freaking the fuck out, and it's like that's probably one of my favorite sequences, like just to record, just with how much emotional weight and baggage that comes with it.
Yeah, I really like all that too. I think my favorite.
Are you
Scott...
good?
Yeah, I burped. That doesn't happen to me very often.
That's like a 2 out of 10.
Yeah,
It did not seem very natural for you.
yeah, usually just comes out, the other way. Anyway, I think my favorite Scott moment was where he is talking to Corsair right before everybody takes off in the Pelicans at the end of part 4. I love that little moment they have with, Chen lashing out, Hadley like barely accepting what Scott is saying, and Scott just like trying to help them all back on their feet emotionally. That just defines who Scott is. He's so cool. I love Scott. I said,
I love playing Scott.
Now, what you said leans into a great segue. Let's go ahead and talk about Block's award-winning meltdown when Hadley gets killed.
Yeah. That was a very good scream.
Yeah. And did you see Lions just switched his
lights
to red?
Motherfuckers are ignoring me.
Oh no, he's Morbin.
Lions, I have questions for you, I promise. I didn't forget you.
There's loads. I got a couple of them right here.
The camera was just getting laggy. That's why it was too much input.
Okay.
If you say Morbin one more goddamn time, I'm gonna strap you to a rocket and shoot you into the goddamn sun.
I will never let it die.
Kinky.
Here's the shark to calm you down.
But really, let's hear it.
Okay. So yes, the scream is my favorite moment.
Mine too.
Because that's probably the most I've done anyone who's like knows anything about the stuff I've done a shitload of screaming in my voice acting time. I'm in fact known as the scream boy.
Well, flashbacks to the fucking death scream.
That wasn't the hardest scream I've had to do. But that is probably like it's up there for being hardest, and it's also the first time I've had to do like a really like emotion. I don't get a lot of opportunities like for acting to do like serious like emotional breakdown kind of stuff, and that was I think that's only like the third time I've gotten a chance to do that. And
well, you ran that tape for like 5 fucking minutes too. You gave me
it was almost 6 minutes straight.
Yeah.
Jesus.
Mad lad.
Which I mean, I was able to breathe and take breaths and stuff, but like something that I don't think I really could have done any better. Like when it came to like physically, I couldn't have done any better. But you can kind of hear it like as it goes on. It kind of like just to criticize because I'm my own worst critic. you can hear it like the screen like taper off, and I kind of like loop some stuff like when it comes to like how I'm doing it, because I'm just trying to like get as much in as I can for as long as I can.
I think that's pretty natural for Hadley though, because his mind being in such a state of shock would be circling back through. It'd be looping like that, so that works for me anyway.
It worked out fine. There's no way anyone with like watching it would notice, but like if you like pay attention to it, like you can hear like my screen. It slowly kind of tapers off more and more the more time goes on, which I think Jacob, you used you just used like a straight cut of it, right?
Pretty
like,
much. I mean, no, I actually there was a point where I spliced it and cut in something else that I liked more, but yeah, I basically just it was like a fire and forget missile. I just let it go.
Yeah.
So one question for Nyoka from Renvow. How do you get ready to voice such an intense character like Chen?
You got to hear how I prepped for such a intense character like Chen, and that is literally just springboarding from the someday he'll realize he's not funny, right?
Yeah.
And so every time I think about how much I hate Hadley, that's what that's what gets me ready for it.
Confirmed. Confirmed. Chen has a hate boner for Hadley.
Absolutely.
I really like those two, not in a romantic way. I don't want to do like
what?
Yeah, I know you ship them, but
Really?
a couple of things.
I would not ship them.
This is my Lego.
We definitely know who would be the top in that relationship.
Yeah.
So
and we've already done that story. We literally just did that between Zach and Denver. So,
well,
moving on.
Yeah,
that's the next series. We have to determine everyone's sexuality and positions.
They are. I would not say they have.
We're giving what the people want.
I'm dead.
I would say that they do not have any sort of like romantic love for each other, but I do think they're very close as comrades, and I think that Hadley and Chen have a stronger bond than anybody else in Corsair does. And I am really looking forward to exploring that with Silva as their commander.
In the Void?
In the Void, yeah. Because I don't think that... I mean, definitely, Corsair's a very tight-knit group, obviously. But I think there is, again, a sort of understated special friendship between Hadley and Chen that I am really excited to look more into.
Well, let me say this, because, like, being Chen, I always thought that I was going to be the screamer of the group. So when I heard Hadley's scream, I was just like, I have things to learn.
Yeah.
So
I've had practice. Don't feel bad. I've had lots of practice.
I absolutely look up to you.
You're the yeller. He's the screamer, and yes.
I mean, if anyone's seen me do Zombie Slayer, like, I mean, that entire character is just screaming.
Mm-hmm.
It's just every line is it's basically just
the Goblin
Chen,
Slayer abridged.
like Goblin Chen, but if it was a person mixed with the Doom Slayer.
Yeah.
Like.
Okay, yeah, I think that's all our dedicated questions for the folks who are about to check out. So, Riley, let's go ahead and get back to you finally.
Sorry.
No, you're good. I'm really happy to have you here this time, Nyoka. I hope we get to have you back for further stuff.
I will say, it is so jarring, just because I know the words and things that have come out of your mouth as Chen, and then I hear you now go this close to anime character. Throws me... Yep, that's enough life for me for one day. Alright, I'll see you guys later.
Stop it, you're bringing for shame upon our kind.
Oh, God.
And just like that, I'm at the top.
God, you're Riley. You're Ara fucking.
Oh, dude. Okay, the funniest moment in the bloopers is when they're all talking about the Infinity, and Zach goes, "Okay, I gotta tell you this, guys. You know that woo shit, right?"
Oh fuck!
I was losing it.
Alyssa did too. Alyssa laughed so hard at all that.
I will say, I don't laugh at most things, mostly because I don't find most things funny, but I was dying in that blooper reel with Riley's stuff because it was hilarious. Because a lot of the blooper reels I've watched of Jacob over the years, it's just people like obviously putting stuff in the blooper reel. And like
flubs and stuff.
Yeah, like flubs or things like that. But that was like
plain stuff, not my plain stuff. That I couldn't control.
I used to straight up slip into Kermit at one point.
And like it was hilarious and it was just so funny.
Yeah. Dude, if you watch
Sussy wussy
Sussy baka, if you look really closely when Zach says the uwu shit, right? You can see Scott fucking nod at him because when I overlaid the new line over the footage, it just lined up. So Scott's like, "Yeah, I know what the fuck you're talking about." And then the next fucking sentence is, "So the whole gang was playing Valheim, right?" And that always makes me crack up because it's so fucking weird to hear Zach say, "We were all playing Valheim."
Well, for me, it was just all the thing that killed me about his whole blooper was the whole thing of the gerbil going up guard.
Oh god,
Mr. Nutty,
because the thing is, it completely reminds me of an extra blooper that happened in Omega Halo. For those who don't know, I actually have a video on my channel that I did an April Fool's video of extra bloopers from Omega Halo that didn't make it into the official blooper reel. I decided to make it a separate thing and stuff. And one of the things I talked about was it was the whole line of like getting the key. And it goes like, "It's right up Guardian's ass. You just gotta turn it."
What the fuck is up with Guardian and his ass? I totally forgot about that.
I gotta get in there.
Yeah, that's literally
that's a forbidden ass.
So that's why, like, when he said that, I was going like, did he copy my blooper from that? But
I
then
honestly
realized,
don't think he did.
Never,
did you, Riley?
Riley doesn't think things through. What are you talking about? Riley just does.
There's zero thought process up there. It's just like
it's just a picture of Guardian the gerbil popping out of his ass.
Born to commit chaos.
And then the key coming out of his ass too.
And now watch, you're gonna a couple weeks later, you're gonna have a bunch of people doing a bunch of fan art with Guardian with just this thick ass and a gerbil holding a key coming out of it.
Why are you putting that in my fucking head? Oh god! Guardian is a robot. He does not need to be cheeked up on a Tuesday.
No, he has an asshole like a clown's pocket. That's what it is.
I just love this. The gerbil. You know, you find Mr. Nutty. Mr. Nutty's clutching a key.
He is the clown car.
He looks up.
I found the key!
There's a fucking hour of this shit that we aren't even dedicating to questions. Oh my god. Riley, get us back on track for the love of God. We still have so much to talk about. We still have so much to talk about. We haven't even gotten to like lines as like 5 questions. Go.
What the fuck? Okay, hold on. Do you remember what the fuck happened? What was the order in which I started recording the Guardian line? Was I trying to record the real lines and I kept breaking down and doing the other ones? Was that it?
So you were doing it, you were doing the speech, and then you kind of just went off, and then you just kept fucking going. You tried to get back to it a couple of times, and you just kept breaking. It was so fucking funny.
That's what I thought. That's how I remembered it.
Yeah.
And I was just like, I just couldn't remember through all the laughing.
Yeah.
It was just the whole time.
So fucking stupid. I loved it.
You breaking at the end and just laughing.
Just like Mr. Nutty! Yeah.
Okay. Is that what you would change? Is there like, does Zach have a gerbil companion?
Oh no, I will tell you exactly what I would change.
Nyoka just sent me a
exactly
screamy senpai.
No!
Anyway, let's go.
I'd have Zach kill a member of Corsair.
Oh,
Oh.
which one?
Yeah.
Scott.
Why?
Oh, that hurts.
But why?
He's the leader.
Why? This is good. Why?
Because he's the leader.
Yeah?
He crushes his allegory. He sees his future self, right, leading a crack team of like special operations. He sees that guy. He has to kill him. Like it just had like there's no way to avoid it. The only thing that he can do, ideally, in order to save Teresa, is he has to kill Scott.
Fuck, dude, that's really good.
God,
Not that I would have killed Scott because I still have so much more to do with him. But
well, I mean that's just what I would have liked.
No,
I think that's probably the way I would have written it myself.
Yeah.
But I don't know what you have in mind.
I got lots in mind. But
You already shot my childhood with Logan.
We totally have room for that in Splintered Legacy. I'll jot that down. That's really good. Yeah.
Well,
I think it'd really fuck Zach up. Like I think it would be like the last final like crushing thing he had to do before he knew he could no longer go into the field. I think it'd fit really well.
Yeah, you're right.
Well, Obi, you're on the chopping block next.
Oh God.
I think if that's it, I got my answer for this because it's real short.
I know it.
And it's something I don't see everybody. Actually, no. People are gonna expect an answer to come out of me, and as much as I give you shit for it, I get it, and it was a good decision.
Okay, I'm
will
glad
I
you feel
give you?
that way.
Will I give you shit for it? Absolutely.
You're more than welcome to.
But
everybody gives me crap when their characters die.
But what I would say is, you see, there's a little bit, like a sentence, in part 5, after the Spartans revert back to people in Seattle. This is like the ones who are still around.
Yeah.
And there's a certain character from Aftermath among that crowd who never got an answer.
Yeah, actually, now that you mention that, hold on.
Are you talking about that random city person? That weird plot point?
We Captured a Command Post asks, "Hey Chronicler, it's been a while since I've last spoken on your Discord server. I hope you and the rest of the server members are doing well. Anyways, my question is there any future plans on using Anthony from Brotherhood War Aftermath and Hyborean, either the Void or some sort of story, to sort of give conclusion to his character? Thanks for answering. Have a wonderful day." Yes. Anthony is a Spartan now. He is on the Infinity. And I have actually talked with his voice actor, with Nick, about doing more stuff with him, and we agree that we want to look into that. So, yes, abso-fucking-lutely.
Possible another member of Corsair. We need someone to fill slot 4.
Yes!
You need another emotionally trauma PTSD-based character. Let's go.
Just saying, that would be a good idea.
There's a couple of things that I'm considering doing, and that definitely is one of them. It's high on the list. There's a couple things I'm not ready to talk about it just yet, not fully, but...
Hey man, Hadley could use a dude, bro.
Yeah. Yeah.
I am your dude, bro.
Chen is the dude, bro.
This is also true.
Okay, that is true.
Chen is the total jock of the group, isn't she? Like,
Yeah.
she was probably like all-star football player in high school. No, she had to have been. She had to have been. She fucking charged. She charged through the enemy team like she fucking charges through concrete walls as a Spartan. Yeah, absolutely, that was a thing. Yeah.
You should have seen her records during the Griffball matches.
Yeah.
The simulations, she pounded everyone.
I will say, off topic, but does anybody want me to spoil Oddman Out, the ending?
Shut up.
No.
Stop it.
Wait, well,
No.
chat. Hey, not chat. Comment
Demons are
section.
sussy wussy.
Put it to a vote. Does Alyssa spoil the ending of Odd Men Out?
You know, if she spoils it,
you'll see.
If she spoils it, I'll just
if
change
you
it.
wait. No, you won't. But hey, if she wait till the end of the episode, vote now in the comments and wait till the end, and you'll see it.
I ain't fucking scared.
No, you won't.
Because I
You
know.
will.
Okay.
Well,
Okay, so real quick. So we're 2 hours in, and I think we're about to see Obi and Feather and Nyoka check out. You three, any last things you want to talk about or say before you head out?
Any last gremlin screams?
That little laugh.
No, none for me.
Okay.
Okay, from Nyoka.
No, I guess I've really enjoyed working on this project. God, we've been at this for like how many years now? Like
Well,
2, 3?
We started, I think, in 2019, didn't we? Like.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
Yeah.
So yeah, like,
I know
like
it's
3
gonna
years.
I know it's gonna be a really long time until the void. See, I don't know if you follow.
Chronicler on that Sigma male grind set.
Gotta be, dude, if you're gonna make this shit. I don't know if you follow Halo at all, Nyoka, but Infinite is struggling to grow very much, and it's probably going to be at least 6 or 7 years before I can even use it for what I want to do in the void.
That's what all of the machinimas I work for are saying.
Yeah, so bear with me, but God, I have got to have you back for then, and for other stuff too. There's no reason I can't put you in some other things. Yeah. I'm sure I can find you something to do.
Now that you know I can do high characters too.
We do need to explore that. Yeah.
We can make you be the anime girl that is just constantly in Joey's head.
You always have an open role in the mega crew.
He's on.
Mine was better.
He's on morphine. He's on morphine. He's super high. He's just up against a rock, and he's just like, oh, I feel like shit. How do you feel, anime girl? just turns over and he just sees like, I feel great. It's like, oh, now that you mentioned, I feel great too. And he just goes into a trip.
It's just the plot of that one Gravity Falls episode.
There you go.
Yeah, I'm from Gravity Falls. That's
Fucking love that
right.
episode.
Feather, what about you?
Sorry, Feather.
So, this has just been super fun in all in honesty. I did not realize that I'd be coming back for Denver after night. After that, because it just didn't feel like the night didn't feel like natural. So I didn't think you would ask me to come back for Denver, but then I got into Denver and she felt so natural. And don't tell Isaiah this, but I like voicing Denver better than Jessica.
You said that in the Brotherhood War roundtable as well, so I'm
glad I did?
I'm glad it stayed the same over the course of 2 years.
It is still the same. Denver just feels so much more natural to me compared to Jessica, and it's been so much fun to just do a range of emotions and just do a more serious thing. And I would be psyched to do more projects with you.
Yeah, I mean, at the very least, you're coming back for the Lifebringer remake. So more Denver there. We get to I want to do her a little more justice in that one. I think we can work on that together, and we can totally do that. And then of course, as far as Denver goes, we're talking about things after Hyborean. So there's another fan question here that says Demon Slayer 69 says, "Hey Chronicler 177, is Hyborean your final machinima with Zachary and the others in it?" So canon now, Zachary is Zach's full name. So I don't know if they'll be in the void, but I definitely want to see more of them. So I'm gonna leave it at that.
I mean, hey, he's a counselor. That makes sense for him to pop back up.
Yeah, and Denver would be too. If Earth gets in trouble again, she's a general.
It just like a Lord Hood kind of like role, like where they just come back to Earth and there's like shit happening, and then
so does she shave her head
just like,
then if she's like Lord Hood?
Chet, Goblin Chen, what are you doing on that ship? Sir, I'm here to read.
Sadly, fire the pen.
Obi's like, fire the Mac guns, and they just
they just shoot the Spartans out. That would be funny if like there's like a Spartan cannon on that.
They stick Chen in the fucking barrel of a Mac gun, fire her through the coils. Safe. She smashes
light years away.
Light
years away. Zach's hand meets his face. Sokka looks at him. What's wrong? God damn it, they shot Chen at a ship again.
Is she tearing it apart? Of course! What do you think?
left.
Do you even need to ask that?
I love that. I love this.
I'm just now thinking, Nyoka, one of these days you and I might have to have a gremlin off because I have been discovering my inner gremlin recently, and it is disturbing.
Oh, good. Everyone should accept their inner
Okay.
gremlin.
You know that, right?
I mean, Nyoka, I don't know if you've seen Lord of the Rings. You know the character of Gollum, right?
Of course.
Precious, the precious.
Oh.
One of my favorite bloopers that I forgot his name, the voice actor that the grunts do in Halo is his Gollum impression.
Oh, just you wake us. Precious houses, you precious goblins. Hairball.
Winners, have you seen the Gollum accepts an award video?
Oh my god, yes!
It is so weird hearing Gollum cuss, but I'll send it to you later if you haven't seen it.
Oh my god, that's
accepts this fucking award. God, I'm sick of your fucking shit.
Hairball. Yeah, that's the inner gremlin. Anyways, Obi, do you have anything to say before we see you again tomorrow on the moderator shot?
It's like I'm just really looking forward just to see where everything goes. Like not just with Scott and the Fives, but just like the overall stories. Like what's Jacob gonna throw at us next, and how are the Spartans gonna carry on their now tarnished legacy?
Ooh, yeah.
Like I'm just so looking forward just to experiencing that with all of you, of course, and like we're just continuing to work on with all of you.
Hell yeah.
And
of course you get to come back to redo Scott in the Generation remake, because we're doing that too.
Electric Boogaloo.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
And I guess because I know we mentioned it on the server, I should also mention for Obi. For those that aren't on the server, one, join the server. It's a lot of fun. Two, if you're not on the server, Obi, a little while ago, was promoted to our second Discord moderator. Happy to have you, as always, buddy.
Yeah.
Except when you buy me Aliens Fireteam Elite while I'm in the middle of trying to buy it. And you're like, oh, here, let me just get you the deluxe edition, buddy, and making the Midwesterner and me feel bad. Thank you.
Sorry, not sorry.
Yeah. All right, this is a good
Love you, buddy.
point. This is a good...
if you've got a Midwesterner in you, you should probably let him out.
Yeah,
That's
there you go.
probably not great.
Don't worry, Mr. Nutty is safe. Well,
yeah, I wanna ask you a question, Jacob.
Okay.
How much of the Brotherhood cast and the Hyborean cast would you like to have on board for future projects? Like, who in particular, like, do you really want to bring on for future stuff coming up, like Odd Men Out and The Void? Like, and have them be more involved in like your stuff.
I mean, everybody really. I've got plans for Lions that I can't talk about. We're bringing you and Kat and Nyoka obviously have all agreed to come back for their roles. We have
not me.
Well, I mean, you're coming back for the Lifebringer remake. That's in
yeah.
your
Where's my email?
He said he didn't want me back. That's what he said.
what
He
I
said
said.
I'm a terrible voice actor.
Not
and
what I
he
said.
he didn't want me
You
back.
did that to your wife. You don't give a call back to your moderator. Your oldest moderator.
You haven't let me finish my fucking sentence yet. Don't go
I said,
presuming.
hey, can I be an odd man out? And he said, absolutely not.
You have never asked to be an odd man out in your life.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Anyway.
I offered to do funny voices. I haven't gotten a call back either, Alyssa. I wonder, it's got me thinking.
Anyway.
You sleep with the guy and you don't get anywhere.
Oh, I know, right? It's so annoying.
Okay, so let's just cut this out right here and go on to what we're doing for Lions.
Anyway, yeah. So we're bringing Floral Ninja Chan, who voiced Carla in Aftermath, has agreed to come on to the cast for Odd Men Out Season 3. Tatsumari is taking over the role of Muppet, also in Odd Men Out Season 3 and presumably Season 4. Yeah, Block, I could stick you really just about anywhere. So
I would love to have a main character role of some kind.
Yeah,
I would
there's
love to join the Odd Men because something to keep in mind is like, I was a fan before all of this.
Yeah,
like
I
I have been watching Jacob's stuff since like 2010.
Yeah, this is true.
Like,
yeah,
and like, and like my first thing that I helped him on, I think, was Biker Run. And then and I did a couple stuff for a couple projects. And then like the first voice stuff I joined on was for Omega Halo.
Yeah.
Like after I'd done stuff with Isaiah.
Because I saw you in Isaiah, I was like, fuck me, I need that guy on the crew. yeah. No, that was hella good. No, there's gonna be this character in season 3, a new character. His name is Fulbert. Fulbert, yeah. And I will be holding auditions for that. I don't know exactly what he's gonna sound like yet, but we'll get into that another time. And then yeah, so I've got who the fuck else?
Well, you got me.
Well, yeah, obviously. And yeah, so there's lots of people that I want to bring back in, and seems like everybody's on board to do so. So yeah, I'm looking forward to it. Okay, so Lions, it's your time to shine. Yeah, go.
Finally, it's your time, buddy.
Go ahead, Winners.
Here we go.
Take it away.
Thank you for waiting, and thank you for changing the lights again. We're gonna start out here with, funnily enough, everyone's favorite director, just changing everything. Kron mentioned how many rewrites he did of the Galloway scene. Not saying which scene. There are a lot of them, but the Galloway scene. How did you sort of like respond to like those rewrites? You could go like, how'd you respond to the first, second, third? How'd you respond to all of them?
Yeah, how'd you respond to me making you do the scene 3 fucking times?
Having also had to have done your audio, doing your like backup audio editor. Yeah.
Well, when I first got Kron originally texted me on Discord with just like a snippet of the script showing my whole like plot twist and everything, and I was like mind blown. I am super excited. I think I texted you back in caps or something.
Yeah.
Just like in disbelief. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I got super excited for that. I honestly had fun doing the rewrites. I think I think before the second or third, I ended up getting COVID. So that put a
you did. I remember that.
I remember that.
Yeah, that put a delay in my recording.
Yeah, nothing that stopped the production.
Rewrites.
But yeah, it didn't cause any problems.
Yeah. But for all 3 of them, I honestly had a ton of fun. The first one, I got to shout a lot. And a little bit of a tangent, I would like to pay respect to Tatsu for the minister scene in Aftermath. I took a lot of inspiration for that for when I was shouting. Yeah. So you did a good job with that. Where you played the Forerunner in...
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay. I forgot all about that.
Yeah, me too. That's embarrassing.
I remember voicing that scene as the other Forerunner and stuff.
Hey man, you're not as bad as Toriyama. Don't worry about it.
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, I mean, just in short, I had a ton of fun recording all 3 times. Just got to shout, got to really bring it out. And
did you get to watch the deleted scenes yet?
I did not. I've been busy with moving out and moving back in. And stuff.
You're the first...
moving bros, me and you both.
The first iterations of those scenes made it into the deleted scenes. I was able to mock them up with what we had, so you should go check those out. Your original takes did not get lost entirely to time. So
all right, yeah, we'll do.
I just watched them earlier, and I definitely liked how the final version came out versus Gesundheit versus how it was sort of revealed initially.
Yeah.
That Galloway just had time traveling gummy bears in his pockets, to avoid spoilers, of course. But no, I really liked how the last one sort of went with all of that. If there's nothing else to say, I have another question for Lions. Oh, okay, so that's my cue. Well, so Kron had mentioned this earlier already, that there were other plans for you in the mix, but I wanted to ask if you saw yourself doing more roles in Mishonos, because I know, for folks that don't know, I dragged him into this, like, in high school. I physically plopped him down in the recording dungeon that is my closet, had him talking to a microphone, and now he's here. But I also know Lyons is, like myself, a kick-ass university student. This I'm up in Minnesota doing, well, a whole lot of really neat stuff.
Minnesota, don't you know?
Oh, you betcha. But
Oh, you
basically,
betcha.
I'm curious to see if you think you might do any more work outside of the plans that Kron has, just given our respective lives.
It's as of right now, it's hard to say. I've given thought in getting involved in some others, like checking out the whatever the promotion channel is in Kron's server, where people can post their own casting calls and all that. But as of right now, I think school is only going to get harder. This is the first semester I'm doing where I'm also working. On top of being a student, so just trying to gauge things. But if time allows, would definitely want to look into it for sure.
Yeah.
Keep in mind, all directors, I can personally put my stamp on approval if you're watching to drag lines into something. You will not find a wider vocal range on someone at all, or a more goofy person, as given our stories in the dungeon.
The dungeon!
That being said, Kron
I
had
remember
something.
when I texted Kron. Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt.
No, go ahead. Go ahead.
I texted Kron saying I tested positive. This is like last February, and he replied, "Damn, Winter's got it too. Y'all been fucking."
I'll have you know.
That's a very
we
mean
only
thing
do
to
that.
say. Yeah.
I'll have you know. We only do that on Sundays. It's pegging the rest of the days.
My God.
What's the
Oh,
difference?
no.
Begging.
No.
So
No.
okay,
Oh,
so
God.
obvious. I don't give a shit about spoilers for Hyborean right now, because if you're this deep into it,
Yeah.
you gotta have watched the production. So obviously, the scene was you killing one of my most longtime characters and a fan favorite. Now I gotta say, I loved all the rewrites that I did on that, but the time that I knew that it worked beyond a shadow of a doubt was when I showed it to Alyssa during the test screening, and her jaw actually dropped at the moment. Alyssa, share any insight on that?
Yeah, so I usually try to avoid these test screenings anytime that he gets me into them. Mostly because like
She doesn't offer a lot of feedback.
Yeah, and I'm also like I'm very much like a transplant in this world. Like I don't really like and it just was never really it's not my thing.
And that's totally
it's not
understandable.
my thing.
Yeah.
But the scene, I mean, I did enjoy watching Hyborean more than the others, and especially that scene. Like that was like it reminded me of what did I say? I can't even remember what it was, but it was very like it was like The Thing. Where is it?
Yeah.
And then I was like, oh.
Yeah. Which pretty much mirrors everybody else's reaction to it. Yeah.
And so like I'm since I was watching it with a critical mind, and it was definitely one of the highlights of that particular machinima. It was very much similar to my Order 66 in Brotherhood War. I was very like thoroughly surprised, like in a good way on that one. Those two probably were the two highlights of the entire like starting from Hyborean or starting from I don't know, Lifebringer, is that what it's called?
No, those are definitely two of my favorites as well. I go back and rewatch them a couple times and go, I did that. That's really good. Okay, let's see.
Actually, speaking of the, I was gonna say, speaking of the Alyssa's talking about her experience with Lions. I actually have a question for both of you that I wrote up. You two, forget barely, just didn't speak to each other at all during the performances. But how did it feel? Like, how did it feel your guys' characters sort of worked with each other? Because obviously they're both like its lines as your second in command.
Yeah, I don't think, because when I did the voice acting for the way Jacob has me do the voice acting, it's reading my lines only, so I didn't read the script. So I didn't really know that.
Yeah.
And so, I mean, that's why I was really surprised when I watched it. But
yeah.
You know.
Hi, how's it going? Here's your second in command 5 parts into the final series.
Yeah, I was like, I mean, I didn't really read the script, so.
Yeah,
but still,
I am
so
lucky.
well.
I am lucky, and I've said this before. I am so lucky to be married to such a wonderful woman who, it's not her thing, but she still indulges me, and when she does, she puts all her effort into it. I mean, somebody who really totally didn't care wouldn't have done as well as the Lifebringer as she did. And I am so lucky to have somebody who supports me in all this stuff. This is machinima is not obviously something you usually find somebody my age doing. And the fact that she has understood and supported me on it where other people wouldn't and or haven't is just it. I treasure it. I really do.
No, thanks.
Yeah.
I mean, that was one thing when we started dating eons ago, that, that's part of you, and I would never want to take away a part of you, even if it was nerdy.
Oh, please. You're just as much of a nerd as I am. Just about different stuff.
I don't think so.
Shut the fuck up.
I'm not.
Guys, all these books she's been reading lately, all these fantasy books, she's been totally nerding out on them, so don't even listen to that.
I take it you have questions for Lions, because otherwise I've got
I
something.
Do. So, Renval had... well, I guess we've kind of covered it a little bit. What were your thoughts when you read that Galloway was a traitor in the script? Galloway only had one major scene across his appearances, but it was one of the most pivotal, and you really nailed the reveal, having us all thinking he was just fatigued. It took Galloway literally driving a knife into Logan's gut for people to realize he was actually a traitor.
Like I said, when Kron first texted me the snippet of the script, I got super, super excited. But also, just to add on to it, seeing it play out, I wasn't able to catch the premiere, but I watched it later, and I had the chat replay pulled up, and I remember seeing people typing, being like, right after the cure was released and all the Spartans were recovering, Logan was talking with Galloway, and I remember seeing people in chat typing like, Galloway seems too calm for this. Like I feel like something might be up, and I think I saw someone come in and be like, no, I think he's just trying to process it. So seeing that debate going on in the chat before the big reveal told me like, that's not to toot my own horn,
some people's cogs in their brain were starting to go, and then
and not to like toot my own horn, but that told me like I kind of nailed it.
Yeah, you did. You really did.
Thank you.
Agreed.
Yeah. The fuck was I just gonna say? Yeah, you had Renval convinced up until the very last second that Galloway was actually good. Masterful performance. I mean, wow.
Yeah.
Especially considering that was a rewrite at almost the last second.
Yep.
Very well done.
Thank you.
Yeah,
really appreciate it.
Like that. Honestly, like that's probably, aside from like my scream, that's my favorite scene from the whole thing. I think it worked the best out of everything. Like, and there was a lot of good stuff.
Yeah,
there was.
Yeah.
I will say, when that scene started to play, it had been long enough where this typically happens with all three of the machinimas that I've been in now, but I forget most of my lines once I'm done. Once they're recorded and sent, I'm like, and that's not on purpose. It just happens.
Yeah.
I forgot the line. Yeah, right. Exactly. I forgot the
Everybody
line.
does. We don't
I
have
never
room in
needed.
our heads.
Yeah.
But I'd forgotten. I never needed to be freed.
Yeah.
That first line that I say in the big reveal.
Mm-hmm.
When I heard that, I was like, I was caught off guard and I got chills.
Yeah.
Yeah, is really good. And then
I had the honor to fuck him up after that.
Yeah. I was deserving of it.
Okay, hold on. Alyssa just texted me. Sorry, honey, I didn't see it. My phone's on silent. She texted me her battery's getting low. So we need to do any questions we have left for her so she can go. So winners, anything?
I have one. Actually, funnily enough, I have one last one. So for Alyssa, we finally got to see the Lifebringer die, which parentheses about time, really. And with her being what I think, what I think is you. Thank you. But with her being what I thought was your first foray into voice acting, but I think we corrected that during this.
Yeah.
What was it like to sort of play this, not just this type and this big of a character, but this kind of villain?
It was really fun. By the way, y'all are obsessed with the Lifebringer, so it's whatever. You guys can be mad. Be mad. But like it was like when originally in 2015 when Jake asked me to do it, I was like, well, that sounds pretty interesting. Like, and then when I got into the character and kind of got into how I like would play her, it was just like it was fun to play, and that's as a woman playing like a character, especially written by a man, like being able to be like all powerful and like by myself was very freeing. And also like another reason why like I don't really vibe with other characters because I liked the idea of just, you know, yeah, she's insane. Obviously she has a terrible morality, but like she's successful at what she does. Like,
I mean, yeah,
you know,
she got a lot farther than other villains did in Spartan Legacy. She was,
and I think that, yeah, and I think that's what makes her scary. I think that's what makes her like, you never know if she's really dead. You never know if she's really gone. So
yeah, so also to put this into juxtaposition, before playing the Lifebringer, she played Eno in Baikouran 3, and this is still 2014 when my writing is not so good at all, and Eno is one of those characters, unfortunately, that literally just existed as a love interest, and that sucked. So to go from being Eno to being an alien god, that's a heck of a jump, and I think it's much better.
Massive jump.
Yeah, and also like I just like that kind of, it didn't really like, I don't think Jacob didn't really know me at that point when I did Eno. I was just kind of like, okay, sure, I'll do this whatever nerd thing that you want me to do. And then
which is very kind of you,
like,
I might add.
I mean, at that point it was very like new. And so, you know, I remember when it was like he told me about you guys, like when he found like all these new voice actors that weren't like his friends or him playing 7 characters. You know, and so I like, for me, I really
all be playing a lot of characters.
Yeah. and like for me, I really appreciate that you guys, you know, believe in Jacob like that, and I think it makes him feel better when it comes to like knowing that he has all these people that really care about him and his work, because he puts so much time and so much effort into it. And like, you know, I'm there for all the breakdowns. So I know.
And Hyborean had its share, probably more so than others,
unfortunately.
And she carried me through them.
And so like
emotional damage.
Yeah.
And so like I think it's really like for me, like never being in that community and like not understanding, and then like, you know, that there's almost 14,000 people that care about what he does. Like that's pretty cool.
It's closer to 400. Most of those subscribers they don't even watch, but still, that is 400 fucking people. Like that is a lot. That's really cool.
Yeah.
We could populate a private island with that many people.
And it's just, it is. Sometimes it hits me. It's like this thing that we're doing right now. You know, you see people talking about. You go and watch like behind the scenes videos for, you know, big movies like Star Wars and Avengers and stuff, and you see people talking about how they feel about their characters, you know, how much they enjoyed the character arc and the writing and stuff like that. And then you go online and you see people making theories and giving feedback and talking to each other, not to me, but to each other about what they thought about it and, you know, having ideas and stuff like that. And like, this is happening now, and it's for something that I made.
Yeah.
And that's just so fucking cool, you know?
Yeah.
Oh my god, it's so cool.
You might need the tissue boxes.
And I literally shared the kind of same mood that he did and stuff. Like, especially like this was the first time I was ever able to be part of something in a large role. Something. Obviously, I directed my own stuff on my own and stuff, but not many people have watched it, honestly. But like when working with Kron, to like be able to add in ideas that I had, especially like with Garrett and with Isaka and all that, and being able to help him create something so massive and stuff for like a big ass trilogy and stuff. It felt good being able to do that, and then seeing how people react to like alongside him and stuff. It's just like we were both looking at how people were doing it and stuff. I remember he and I were both so fucking nervous. It's like we were so going like having so many second thoughts. It's like, oh, how are people going to react to this? Is it going to look good? Is everything going to come together? Like that was something that was always like in the back of my mind every single time, every step of the way and all that. But then when we saw how everyone reacted, I was just blown away by everyone's responses and stuff. Like
it's so cool. And then to add on to that, having you along, Hugh, and you know Renval and other people who you get so invested in this lore and these characters and the writing that I made, to the point where you want to jump in and help me out. You know, that's fucking awesome. And it just as a creator, it speaks to, I know it isn't huge, you know, I don't have 1 million subscribers, and these things will only last until YouTube is taken down and the last server runs dry. But like, I've left my mark, and I've had all you guys help me to do it. That is so much farther than so many people get, and that is just so fucking cool. And we're not even done yet.
But Jake, you would never have the kind of relationship you do with your subscribers if you had 1 million subscribers.
No, and I know. And I was just talking to somebody about this the other day. We are at this spot where we have a really good following of awesome, dedicated people, but we also fly just enough under the radar to avoid all the drama and the bullshit and stuff like that. And it's just, this sweet spot is so good. Yeah. I'm really happy with it, you know? And yeah, the machinimas are hard. And yeah, I'm stressing about the future with Infinite and all these other projects I want to take on, but this is why I do it. This is what makes it worth it. So good.
I mean, hell, even my own mother, who's like pretty much like older than many of us and stuff, she loves the work that we do and all that. And I mean, she literally got involved in the latest project.
She voiced
side character.
What the fuck
Cunningham.
Cunningham, yes.
Cunningham, yeah. Like, the fact that she came in as a Scottish ODST and stuff was probably one of the best things I could ever ask for and all that.
Because... It was a little cheesy, but I was more than happy to have her in just for the fun of it, because she's great. Yeah.
I'm like, yeah, like, and that was the thing and stuff is because she really loved all the stuff that like I did and other stuff, but also she really loved the Spartan legacy in particular and all that. She really loved the characters. She especially loved you, Riley, and stuff like that. Like she really liked your stuff, and of course, well, obviously she really loved my voice acting and stuff. But it's just like she was so eager to want to have a part in it. Like as early as Aftermath, she wanted to be in it, but of course we already had fully casted, so it couldn't work and all that. But it's just like, could we try to get her? Could we try to get her into the next one? And then thankfully we did and stuff. And so the recording session was absolutely hilarious.
Yeah, I bet. And I forgot to put her fucking outtakes in the blooper reel. I'm gonna regret that. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I still
Blooper
have
reel 2.
Yeah, well, I'll let Mega make another one. Yeah, you should put together some lost.
Yeah,
bloopers.
I'm gonna. Yeah, so I'll
reel
probably
2.0.
Yeah, I'll probably, because I still have the file on me. I'll probably bring it up because there is. When we were doing some of the lines, she wanted to improvise a bit, and there were some certain words that she did say that didn't make it to the blooper reel, but would have been absolutely hilarious to do and all that because I couldn't stop laughing in the background too. So kind of like similar when you have Alyssa where you hear Jacob laughing in the background and stuff. I had a similar moment with my mom and stuff because we were literally sitting in this room going over the stuff, and then of course I see her that she's writing something down there. It goes like, I got this, you fucking cunts, and stuff.
It's very Scottish, yeah.
Very Scottish. Which she's not Scottish, by the way, but we do have a Scottish heritage.
Yeah. Well, with a name like Verhalewagen, you kind of have to.
Well,
Jesus
Christ. Actually, that's
Dutch.
Well, that's not.
Is that really?
That's Dutch. It is Dutch.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I guess that
because
makes
it's
sense.
because my dad's from Belgium, and so it's Dutch. But however, her maiden name, which is also my middle name, is Duncan.
Yeah,
You know
that's
that,
Scottish.
That's Scottish.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know that thanks to Thomas the Tank.
Duncan.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Duncan D's nuts in your mouth.
God damn it.
Aw, man. Why'd you have to go and ruin it?
I'm going to remember that forever.
That's his mother.
That's also his middle name.
Duncan D's nuts in her mouth.
Stop it.
It's not even
No shame.
spelled like
That's
that.
enough out of you, Riley.
But anyway,
It's fine. I'll ask you a question later.
Real quick.
Okay.
So, a couple things. I
I'm
think.
gonna-
Hold on.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Only the nuts though, because I'm boneless.
God damn.
It's
Half
time
of
to
this
stop.
fucking thing is just shit posting. Okay, Alyssa's battery is about to die. Is there anything else we want to ask her or anything?
No, I got through
Okay.
all my questions for Alyssa. Can we get a Jess cam quickly?
Jess Cam?
Oh, she walked away.
She walked away. Yeah, she was on earlier. It's okay. Honey, thank you so much for coming to this roundtable. I know you said you initially
welcome.
wouldn't, but it has been so awesome having you here. I love
There
you so
she
much.
goes.
Yeah, hi, Jess. Yeah.
Thanks.
All right.
Thanks
yeah,
for
and-
coming to this shit show.
You're welcome. I just want to and thanks for thinking I can voice act. I guess. I don't know.
You can.
Yeah.
You did.
You really can.
He let me into this, so anybody can.
Okay, bye.
Love you, babe.
Bye.
See you later.
Thanks for coming.
And then Lyons has also told me he's going to check out in about 20. So there is one last thing that I want to talk about before Lyons goes. Atomic Ray asked, was it always the plan for Galloway to never be subservient to the Lifebringer and instead loyal? Or was that decision made sometime after or during Brotherhood War? So like I talked about in... I talked about this in the looking back. Yes, that was not the plan originally. And it was one thing... I did it because I wanted to write somebody to hate for killing Logan.
Yeah,
which seems kind of dumb. And if I just left it at that, I think that would have been really dumb. But it evolved from there, giving Galloway a more interesting backstory, adding some nuance, a little bit of nuance into it. And then also I was able to create that parallel with Garrett, two Spartans who betrayed the UNSC, but then Galloway went even farther with it, whereas Garrett held on to his morals. But yeah, initially that was something I was really nervous about doing because I generally don't like making big changes to characters like that between productions. But I am thankful that it went off so well. So I haven't heard anybody.
It really did.
Yeah,
it really did.
I haven't heard anybody have a problem with it. How do you anything you want to add, Lions?
I didn't find out about the twist until after Aftermath was done.
I mean, yeah, neither did I.
Well, there you go.
Yeah.
So I'm just like really grateful to have voiced a character that had an enormous layer added to him later on. After first being, just very standard, like by the book, not a whole lot of emotion to him, just a kind of a secondary character to
I think he ended up being a lot more memorable this way.
Oh yeah, I agree. But yeah, going from that to like a cold, supposedly mind-controlled Spartan that just became like a mindless killer to, oh no, that's his actual personality. It was crazy.
If you look in the Hyborean Ultimate Guide, shameless plug again, go check that out because me and Obi put a fuck ton of work into that. Galloway's entry talks about how it hints at that maybe his military personnel record was forged. Wonder who could have done that. But anyway, yeah.
It's impossible.
Yeah. But yeah.
That's not true.
Let's see if I've got
That's
anything
impossible.
else.
Listen, I'm out of questions.
Yeah. So if we're out of, are you out of questions for everybody? Because then we can go into more of these fan questions.
I still have some for everybody. We've been bouncing around everywhere.
Yeah,
I've got one in particular that I've been saving for Tatsu.
Let's go ahead and do Tatsu then.
Okay. Hey Tatsu, so I'm hijacking this for a second. So the last roundtable we had was after Aftermath, and of course we're doing this after Hyborean. But there's one other thing that released in between Aftermath and Hyborean, and that was Zulu Flight. What was it like to play Albrecht cold, basically?
Well, most of the time, I've actually had to step in for a couple other characters in other projects.
And again with Muppet.
With Muppet.
And Muppet. And really, it just comes down to watching what was previously there and trying to match the mannerisms of the character to begin with. That's one of them. The second is trying to get the voice to sound similar.
But also add your own take a little bit.
Well, that's another thing entirely, because if you do that a little bit, what ends up happening is the character might change in ways that the writer didn't intend. Yeah. So you got to try and keep the sound, keep the mannerisms all together, and as much as you can, even if they only have very short appearances in their previous iterations or whatever it was, you got to try to make sure and keep it all at least similar. Because no doubt everybody's going to be able to tell a difference somewhere along the way.
Yeah.
I mean, heck, like if you really think about it, just for an example, Po from Kung Fu Panda the movies and Po from Kung Fu Panda the series. Yeah. They're not the same voice actor.
They're not.
But they're not.
I mean, I haven't seen it. I just thought Jack Black was always in the role.
No, it's some other guy, but like
to it, but
if you really listen, you can hear some slight differences. But the original the voice actor who does the series Po, again, he does an amazing job on trying to do a Jack Black version of Po. So again, that comes back to my side of things. On my side, I would like to try and keep the mannerisms, the voice, the sound, the little quirks here and there, try to keep them the same. So that way the character is consistent, even though the voice may change, just like ever so slightly.
Right.
Yeah.
I like that. I like that approach to it, especially being very biased in myself, having developed that character. I really, this is no longer host Winters. This is director writer Winters. I really appreciate the care that you put in, because I know the previous voice actor put in a lot of work, worked with them a bunch to sort of get this all. It was a very specific voice I was looking for to get it all hammered out. And then I was very happy that you came in and just took the it was like it's a relay. You took the baton and you just ran with it. So I am so
on that analogy, I like to think of it as like a really delicate crystal sculpture, you know. You're handing something very delicate, very very well made, and I have to take care of it now.
Yeah. And which is again another reason that I am very happy that you're coming on as Muppet and I'm Out. Riley, when I sent you Tatsu's demo for Muppet, do you recall what you told me?
No, I don't.
You said
What did I say?
You said something along the lines of, that is as close to Muppet as you can ever find.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
Yeah, which I mean that's really good. So
yeah, and as far as that goes, I mean, I think there was something you gave me a pointer that I need to work on my snark a little bit. But
you did say that, yeah.
Because that doesn't come naturally to me, so I'm gonna have to work on that a little bit here and there.
Oh yeah.
But
I have every faith that you'll succeed.
I'll definitely.
If we give you enough, if we tease you enough, you'll be able to learn some snarkiness. Don't you worry.
Oh yeah.
I'm friends with a bunch of people who are pretty snarky myself already, and for some reason it hasn't really stuck. So
I guess that just speaks to your character.
What I'm hearing is we need to do like the football drill. You have one guy in the middle, everybody just runs into him, except Tatsu's in the middle, and we're all just snarky at him.
Oh, trust me, you do that, I will break, and there will not be anything left of you.
There you go.
Yeah, so that was my big one for Tatsu. I just wanted to hijack it.
Ren Val had one too, so we can just go with Tatsu just a little further here.
I had another one for him as well.
Oh, you did? Well, let's do Ren's real quick, and then let's do yours.
Like I said, I have about like 20 bullet points.
Shit. I don't think we're going to get through them all, but we'll try.
I've already cut a bunch.
Okay, good. Okay, so Ren Val asks, Tatsu, of all the characters you voiced that died, which one do you wish survived? And I have to imagine Ren asked that knowing slightly what your response would be, but yeah.
Oh, no.
It's kind of a tie between either Braxton, Manias, or even though Manias wasn't real, but even still, you know, kind of a tie between Manias, Braxton, and the scared kid that what's his name?
Jonah Abadi.
Yeah, Abadi, whatever his name, Jonah.
Abadi, yeah.
Kind of a
Abadi.
It's kind of a tie.
I'm blue. Lions is blue. Da booty da boo da.
It's kind of a tie between those three.
I did Braxton dirty, and I am not even ashamed of it. Because it works.
Like there is actually something I have had in my head for a long time that I'm probably gonna I might even just make it up just to send to you, just as a kind of a thing that's been on my mind. What was the name of the AI that was? I think maybe Ren did a picture of like Braxton and an AI.
Yeah, I forget. Yeah. I haven't thought about that in a long time.
Okay. Well, anyways,
Ren.
Anyways, the thing that I had in mind is just like, I imagine that Braxton got shot and he just does like this death crawl. Like he managed to get away. He's like fading life and he managed to get away to like a transceiver of some kind and is trying to send out one like desperate message. But the AI is there just like keeping him company as his life fades away.
Yeah, that's really sweet. I wish I could portray something
and then like
accurately.
Like the other thing that I would like, the last thing that I think would be the big hit is like he's just kind of slumped against the transceiver and here come the Spartans like trying to barge in. He's got the door locked trying to barge in and he just kind of like weakly picks up a shotgun or some kind of weapon. He's like, well, this is the end, isn't it? And then just like fades out.
To alter that, the Spartans come in. Braxton pulls up a M41 Spanker surface-to-surface rocket, and he says, with his last breath, "Fire!"
Yeah, yeah, that would. I mean, but like maybe not. So figure out a way to do that. That's medius, but maybe
he grabs the rocket launchers and he's just like, "How does child abuse take taste.
No, I like just as they're dying, you summon all your life force. You pull up the rocket launcher, and instead of just firing with all your strength, you're not even able to pull the trigger. You just yell, "Firing!" You just are excited, but you die of excitement.
There you go.
Oh god.
Okay, so yeah, that's all the questions I have for Tatsu here. You said you had one more.
I did. The Hyboreans and Centurions and all the fun stormtroopers of the series. We don't see any personality in them, and yet, inexplicably, they're really kind of interesting.
Yeah.
Okay.
How did you come up with their portrayal? And what can you say about them?
Believe it or not,
my beard.
I actually had, I took a lot of inspiration from Soundwave from Transformers Prime.
Kojo's gonna love that.
Oh, all the Transformers fans in the comments are gonna be blowing it up.
But like
me,
but like how
I
Soundwave
love Transformers
when he would,
Prime, dude.
Yes, like when he would talk, it would just be recordings backs, but it had like this weird monotone harmony kind of in the background of everything that was being replayed. So I took that and I was like, okay, let me see if I can do that. I think Chronicler even asked me, just like, what can you do with this?
Yeah.
And it's like, okay, let me see what I can do. So what I ended up doing for the Centurions are the heavy ones, right?
Yeah, both the Centurions and the heavy Centurions.
Okay. So for the Centurions, I ended up just recording the lines once, and I think the other one is with Soundwave. Or Soundwave, yeah. Soundwave from like his original voice. Yeah. But Soundwave, his original voice, where he would just talk in like 3 notes. And like he just had one normal note, and then when he would like make more serious, it would go down.
Fuck,
and
that's what it is. Limiting it to 3 notes.
And then like if it would be like a more like a more energetic, it would go up a note. And then after I got done that, I actually had to go back and re-record it with a second voice, which was a little more gravelly, trying to get in the background.
Right.
And then I did 2 different tracks on that with 2 different notes, and then put those all together. And then the heavy Centurions, I basically just did the same thing, except I only recorded it twice instead of like with 2 tracks, where I'd record it once with just a little bit more of a lower voice, and then I would go back with
something way down here in the background.
That's really cool.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Wow. Oh, I'm glad I'm not the only one that can do that.
Yeah.
I can't. It kills my throat.
It kills my throat. I can't do it for very long.
I can do it, but only for like, I think it took me probably a couple days to do that, because I could only do it like in 5-minute stints.
Yeah.
Because I get it done.
Soundwave superior, Autobots inferior.
Yeah.
The like I said in the looking back, the heavies were. God, I wish I'd been able to use more of them. They were so fucking cool. Yeah. No, that's awesome.
Yeah, it was.
Hey, I about got a roll. If we get anything more from you, let me know.
Oh, hang on. Okay, I do have one from Renval. I think that's everything on Tatsu anyway. So thank you, Tatsu.
That is, thank you, Tatsu. Yeah. And then I have one thing for Mega and Riley as well.
Okay. First off, Renval asks Riley, how many times did it take you to nail Zach's Part 4 speech in one go?
1.
Yeah, you did some of it in stages, and then you went on about Mr. Nutty, and then you were like I mentioned, you just said, hey, can I try this? And then you just did it, and it was so good.
It was a really good decision. I'm glad you let me go for it.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah,
because like the previous recordings were fine, and weren't nearly as good.
No.
I don't know. Having a pre-battle speech of Mr. Nutty would definitely get the troops fired up.
Or just be like,
yeah, but for the wrong thing.
Yeah. So what were your questions?
You'd learn something about the Marines very quickly.
What's your question, Winners?
Mine. So this is for both Mega and Riley.
All right, finally.
And this is for Garrett and Zach, funnily enough. The relationship in Hyborean is about as strong as it had been during their time, during the flashback that we saw to Reach. What can you guys say to the development of both of them like, for the sake of time, I can limit it to the Hyborean sort of saga life day thingy, but really, like, ideally, like, from their reach days to retirement, how can you guys speak to sort of that growth and then rapid withdrawal and regrowth of that relationship?
Well, it was definitely one of the most interesting relationships to, especially since I was the one who came up with the idea, is that I really wanted to make sure that I portrayed Garrett as like someone who really cares about Zach regardless of what the sides that they were on. That he was someone that had been through so much shit just as much as Zach has been through so much shit, and so he's trying to appeal to that and stuff, trying to be sure that like he could use the kind of, in a way, uses that to get on his side and stuff, but at the same time it's like he's not like trying to use it for his own gain in the Reformation, because legit he does care for Zach. And that's something you can hear very well, something that I did to make him sound like whenever I did the portrayal of and stuff, especially when in specifically part 4 of Brotherhood War, where they were in the portal room in particular, which is still one of my favorite scenes to this day from
it is. I do
War.
like that scene a lot.
Yeah, not only for the awesome audio stuff, like the reverb in the room, in the big room and all that, but also when I was recording that, I actually was very close to being in tears when I did that, because I was very emotional during that. I did mention that before a while back when Ren actually asked me a question about that scene and stuff. But yeah, like I really nearly got emotional there, so I kind of had my own moment like Feather did for Hyborean and stuff. Although she did it much more better than me for sure, but it's just like I really like portrayed a lot of myself in Garrett, because I of course never grew up with any siblings, and I had a lot of stuff happen in my life that in a way is kind of similar to what Garrett has gone through. Obviously not to the extremes of being left for dead or to the fullest extent, but
you weren't
there's a lot
abandoned
of
by the
similarities.
military and left to die at the hands of an alien invasion.
No, of course
We can make that happen if you want.
It could be like that.
It do
It could be like that.
Riley,
No.
what was your
Sometimes
thoughts
it
on
just be like that.
Yeah, but like a lot of it I basically portray a lot of the stuff that I went through and kind of like twisted it around a bit for when I did Garrett's portrayal and stuff. And of course, seeing that grow, like being able to really show like there's a bit of ups and downs between them. But at the same time, I really loved, especially doing the smaller moments in Hyborean, like that little one of my favorite scenes, especially is that little scene where was it they were in an elevator, or
yeah,
it was when they were
at the beginning of part 2 when they go into the elevator together and they're talking about the old times.
That was another one of my
I enjoyed
favorite
that a
scenes
lot.
to record. That I really liked doing that one and stuff, because it's always the small moments that I always love in anything and stuff, like just even action scenes, they're pretty cool and all that, but for me, when I'm watching anything, it's always the smaller moments that get me. And that one especially I really loved doing. I know I had to re-record a couple times to make it sound good, but I really love that part of just like being able to show like shows where they're at right now, that they're now closer together than they were earlier on in Brotherhood War, and especially Aftermath, that they now have feel like, because Zach has faith in him, and then of course Garrett has also faith in Zach as well, because the two know each other for so well that now they have faith in each other, and that's something that I really liked portraying. And then of course also the other scenes that I really liked was when Garrett was there for when Zach was injured, and he was with also
Denver.
With Denver and all that, and then of course the final scene too. I really liked the last conversation especially.
Yes,
So,
where Zach wouldn't shut up about his boneless pizzas, and Garrett had to just abscond because he wasn't getting anywhere. Yeah, Riley, how do you feel about all this?
You know, I hate to just ditto all that, but I'm gonna ditto all that because I gotta.
That's fair. You and Lions, I think. It's been really great having both of you.
Yeah,
for sure. All
right, Lions,
I will catch you guys later.
Yep, see you
later, Riley. And Lions, if you're heading out, I know I'll see you. I'll see you soon enough.
Yep.
Oh yeah, back in the dungeon.
See you, dude.
Back to the dungeon.
before I go, I just want to say thank you to every single one of you for all the support.
Hell yeah.
Cannot appreciate
No
you guys
problem.
enough. Thank you for just letting me be a part of the community and everything. It's been an honor.
Yeah, it really
I
has,
mean that.
man. Thank you. Thank you so much.
All right. And with that, I hope everyone has a good night.
You too.
And
You
a
too.
great
You
year.
too, man.
So.
Yeah, you too, dude. See ya.
Good night.
We're basically at our 3 hours.
We're
so
coming
just gonna,
up.
We're gonna wrap up a few things. Before you go any further with yours, Winter, I just want to address a couple more fan questions that were addressed to me.
Go for it.
And then I'll let
I've
you
got-
wrap us up.
I've got two. I've only got two questions. One for you, one for Block, and then I got a final sort of an outro for you.
Awesome. Sounds good to me. All right. So let's see here. No, phone, stop it. What the fuck? Here we go. Okay. Aquifer Unknown asked, how did you get so many BA body actors in Halo 5? To which I answer, I have no fucking clue. Because I do the same thing.
A lot of dedicated motherfuckers.
Oh, yeah, and it's great. It's just, you know, I do the same thing other people do. I schedule dates. I have them reliably. I make announcements. And people show up.
Halo 5 installed.
And I see, and they show up. And that seems to be where the difference comes in, because I've seen other directors make big calls and need a lot of people for big scenes, and then they tell me later that like only a couple people showed up, whereas we consistently get almost full lobbies, if not in excess of. I don't know what it is. I don't know if I just put a lot of points into charisma at character creation, or if I've created some sort of environment that people just really like to be in. And
I think it's because you're very active with your community.
Yeah. Well, I mean, so are they, you know. Green Hygiene goes and he does a lot of stuff with his community, but he's mentioned to me sometimes has a hard time pulling actors. Same with Lost Hobo Films. They've both asked me, or at least Hobo did, asked me what the secret was, and I don't have an answer. So I have come to the conclusion that very clearly I am just the personification of the Jedi exile from Knights of the Old Republic 2, and I am subtly influencing everybody to follow me without knowing it.
Speaking as the resident voice actor among, not voice actor, the resident body actor, you all the fucking professional voice actors, now we're in my territory. Getting blown up repeatedly. I know, because I see those casting calls too, and admittedly, I just don't have the time for a lot of the other ones. But I think with you, like yes, they do stuff for their community, but I think with you, it's so ingrained into our like server where it's like I've gone on to like I'm on Isaiah's server, I'm on some other ones, and they're awesome. Like the way they do things, and they're amazing directors, make amazing stuff. I don't get the same sort of feel that comes from our server. Now, am I biased because I am one of the moderators? Absolutely.
Are you biased because you literally created the server for me? Possibly,
but at the same time, I can only put down the infrastructure for what the server is. It's the people that make it good, and I think there's just something about you putting charisma in, you're a secret Jedi lady, like
Jedi lady.
Something you've done has gotten a lot of people to come in, and I think it also helps that like I don't know their history, but like you have such like a broad like pool from which to pull body actors. A lot of directors will just pull from like their friends or like from certain folks, whereas we're pulling people like Kai, who was up once till 3 a.m. UK time.
And Ted as well.
And Ted, like, we have worked them to the point of sleep deprivation at times, and like, but they're still here. So I think it's just not just the server and the community that we have, but just the breadth of the pool of body actors that we have to choose from. Even from that one scene in Aftermath where we had just a sea of 12-year-olds. That was still a sea of 12-year-olds. So that's more than other people.
I remember being that for there, and that was hell.
Oh my
god, that was a session.
That one dialogue scene went on for way too fucking long. Again, I just really appreciate all the effort the body actors put in. You know,
the body actors, you are champions.
They fucking carry us, dude. Like they carry us so hard. people just doing these things for me, you know, consistently showing up and setting aside time for it. And, you know, you got the Brits staying up way past their bedtime, and they do it all the time. And I'm so grateful for it. I don't know why.
I should note I've fucked myself on at least one college assignment, not at the previous community college I was at, the big 4-year school that I'm now at up here in Wisconsin. I have fucked myself on an assignment because I prioritized body acting over it.
I mean, it's something I haven't done. When I was in high school,
hey man, at least you did it for something that actually matters.
Yeah, true.
Oh,
looking at you, homework.
Yeah, no.
Yeah,
I had to take all these notes and, you know, like history and other classes like that.
Oh,
And
the bullshit way of teaching history.
Instead of taking notes, I'd be writing scripts. Did I fucking almost fail the classes? Yes. Did I also make the Reach trilogy and Biker on 2? Yeah. I'd say it's a worthy trade-off.
So what I'm hearing is, in order for you to make the best machinimas you ever made, we need to put you back in a history class.
Who the fuck said they were the best machinimas I ever made? There's a reason that I'm remaking these older parts of the Spartan Legacy.
10-year-old me.
Yeah, fair.
Yeah, but still, I mean, at the time, like especially when I first discovered you and all that, was when it was actually through the Reach trilogy. I didn't watch any of the Spartan Legacy in order when I first discovered you, but then of course I went back as soon as it was with Revolution, a Nostrum story, and of course me being a big fan of Elite.
Of course, it was the Elites that brought you in. Yeah.
Because I love that kind of story and stuff, and at the time, I didn't see anyone else treat elites as main characters. It was just all about the fucking Spartans all the time. Not saying that, not to shit on anyone who was making Spartan stories at the time, but I was like, I kind of want something that's centered around an elite, you know? It's maybe not just a villain or something. It's just like, I wanted to see something, and that was what really attached me to the story. Like, obviously, back then, I was never thinking about quality or anything as I do nowadays and stuff. I was just completely amazed. It's like, oh yeah, you have an elite who's central to the story. He gets his own first-person modes.
Yeah.
Like, that was the big thing that really hooked me into it and stuff of that. Like, it's like, okay, so like I see that he's doing something very interesting here, but it's like he gets his own first-person modes.
I can't believe I forgot to bring this up when we were talking about it earlier, but in the same line of Tatsu taking over characters, he is going to be the new Nostrum.
Yo, let's go!
So I'm very excited about
so
that.
many big shoes I gotta fill.
That's of all the people in this call, you're gonna be the one to do it, because I swear to God, you're a walking, talking voice box where we can just push a button on your back and it's like, Nostrum, boink, I am Nostrum, just perfect Nostrum. Muppet, a Muppet. Perfect. I'll be the enemy. Just we could push buttons and it's just.
And I'll be Yeah, and I will be Tatsu's best friend to Nostrum.
We're adapting some of the characters from Tales of the Reach trilogy in.
Yeah, but yeah, to go back to what I was saying and stuff, just the fact that that was what really attracted me to your stuff and all that. And then of course after that, I went back and watched everything from the Spartan Legacy all those years ago, just to catch up, and that's what I was really interested in. And then of course there was the first time I ever body acted for you, which was for Biker 2, when you needed a guy who needed to be the red officer elite.
Yeah, because so few people had
so
that.
desperate.
Yeah.
So I was one of the lucky ones that had it, because a friend of mine says oh, I know someone who has it, and then it's they invited me, and it was oh my god, I'm actually in this dude's cinema. But of course that was the only time I ever had an interaction, because I think at the time I was going if I send him messages and stuff, he's probably gonna think I'm some annoying fan or
Back
something.
then I might have as well. I was pretty big in my britches during those years, and I've always been a decently nice guy. I think, at least I try, but I was a little.
Hey, you're a shit ton better than any of the other. Dudes
but if you also go back and look at some of the comments on the older stuff, I definitely have a different tone. And that's something I'm looking forward to, again, pushing away with and distancing myself from when I remake the stuff. But
At least Mega's claim to fame for body acting was like getting a cool armor. My claim to fame was my first session, in the original Lifebringer in the boarding action scene, was somehow with the storm rifle scoring a headshot on Kron.
Yeah, that happened. Yeah, you
remember
were the reformist that took down Zach. Yeah, that was funny.
with the stray headshot, right out of the escape pod. Just bastard. Let's go. Oh fuck.
Yeah. All right, so the last question that was for me, two of them were also from Renval, and he asks, when did you realize you'd have to kill off Logan? And like I said, looking back, basically when I brought him back. That was always the plan for it. And
I take it back. I have one question now. Damn it, Ren!
He's very good at that. The other one he asked was literally every Resistance grunt who wasn't a main character killed off, or did some of them survive the battle off screen? So you may remember in Brotherhood War, if you look back at it, they're talking about at the end of part 2, Garrett and Asaka are talking about how the UNSC fleet is engaged in the outer colonies because this war was also happening outside of Earth. So the Reformation, all the Spartans pulled back to Earth when the Lifebringer took over, leaving basically nobody for the Reformists out there to fight. And I don't know, maybe they surrendered to the UNSC, maybe what was left of the UNSC surrendered to them without their Spartan support. Actually, yeah, and it was mostly Marines out there too. So yeah, there were definitely a lot of reformists who made it through, just not most of the ones on Earth. Yeah. Okay, that's it for me. Winners.
God, I'm so pissed at Ren. I literally had the question: killing Logan is another blow to my childhood. Yeah. You mentioned you knew he would die. How'd you come to that decision? And God damn it, Ren.
Yeah, well, it was just a logical thing to do, with the story that I was planning, with these dire stakes and with Zach's character arc, it all just fell into place really quickly, and it just made a lot of sense. So
true. I can just hear Ren just cackling across the YouTube airwaves.
Oh, he's gonna be very pleased. Yeah.
Oh my God, that little shit. I try to love him. I try to, and he just constantly rejects it.
Yeah. Well, let's go ahead and do your last question because I think Block is about to fall asleep.
I was about to say this was actually.
Fine. I'm just kind of multitasking.
Okay. No
well,
worries.
guess what? I've got a question for you, Block.
Yeah.
Oh.
Multitasking
we've
in
been
progress.
At it 3 hours and 10 minutes. That is an appropriate reaction.
Yeah. No, that is an appropriate answer. So, Block, you've been a part of these productions just forever. Like now, you've done stuff in Reach, you've done Generation, you've done Omega Halo, you've done the entire Life and Death, Pride and Prejudice, Life and Death, War and Peace series. Yeah. Given that experience, I guess what character would you say you've enjoyed portraying the most? Out of your time. Out of your time doing this, yeah. And well, we can to placate people, we can leave out the Wanderer if we would like, so we don't get spammed with comments of bring back Fallout.
Well, one of the reasons that Wasteland 2019 was canceled was because nobody watched it.
No one watched it, and my schedule was just too booked.
Yeah.
So
all of that was my fault because I had the idea one night and I did the exact opposite of what you usually do, and I rushed into production, and I rushed Block into production without considering his schedule, and it was very kind of him to agree with it and do as much as he could, but I did not.
Sorry, it didn't work out.
These things happen, and I learned a lesson from it, and but at the same time, I also don't feel too terrible about it because I don't think anybody misses it. So I mean, it's these things that I do that are not the Spartan Legacy and not Odd Men Out, even Fallout 76 videos, Wasteland, even the Gamer Boys, they don't get near the amount of hits that the major stuff does. So it is what it is.
At least Gamer Boys is fun.
Gamer Boys is so much
Gamer
fun.
Boys.
Winners
when Gamer Boys go through all the games doing Lasso.
Oh God, fuck that! No way, I hate that.
No, winners. When the Gamer Boys go through every vehicle level with winter driving.
We need to schedule winners. You and I need to schedule our Halo 2 thing for Gamer Boys. and it needs to be soon, before the war in October. So we need to set that up soon.
Yeah. That's right, because I need to do warm-ups because I haven't touched Halo 5 in so long.
Yeah. But anyway,
I told you, I'm gonna be the reason I lose. For block, I guess, well, question, answer, what is it?
Yeah.
That's really, it's tough.
Now, are we including other director stuff here?
It's probably...
We're just, we're
I
gonna
think
keep
we're
it
just,
to...
we're just doing
this?
your
Okay.
stuff. If I had to pick, I'd probably say Hadley.
What, not Windows?
Windows was literally just like
screaming and dying.
A dude, a dude and screaming and dying, and also there was the general, like elite. There was the honor guard.
The honor guard, yeah. He was a little less than screaming and dying, but then he screamed and died.
But then he screamed and died.
Yeah.
See,
that's not much of a challenge.
A lot of my characters do that. It sounds like, you know, I get typecast into, oh, is this person gonna scream and die?
Yeah. Block is perfect. Okay, so I'm gonna make that question a little more interesting. I'm gonna make that a little more.
Go for it, because I read that question while going through, and I was like, when did I write this? At like midnight? That's terrible.
Yeah. Block, be perfectly honest here, because I want your opinion. Hadley or Zombie Slayer?
Zombie Slayer.
I fully expected that. No, Zombie Slayer is so much fun. I don't blame him at all.
It's the best. It's my favorite character I have ever played.
Yeah.
So
I agree. I am perfectly okay with that because Isaiah is such a good director.
The role was it's not even that. The role was literally like made with me in mind.
Yeah.
Like I literally I basically helped, not necessarily write, but I came up with a lot of ideas, and the role, basically they were doing casting, but I just basically dicked around, and they knew it was probably gonna be me ahead of time.
Cool.
It's just one of those you're kind of born to play kind of things and it just resonates with you, because it's literally just I just get to play Deadpool.
Yeah,
and it's wonderful.
Joey's kind of like that for me. Joey's a lot of fun to play. But that's a conversation for another time.
I always forget that you tried to be Angry
I tried
Red
to be
Boy
Dante
originally.
Yeah,
you tried to be Dante.
Oh, no. Speaking of roles that people are born to play, dude, Harold is actually more fun to play than anything I've created, at least for me. Yeah. So yeah. But Isaiah knows that.
Pour one out for Chadley over there.
He'll.
I had too much fun writing some of these names.
Yeah.
I'd like to actually pitch in for a favorite role of mine and stuff.
That's who we're gonna do this for you as well.
Oh really? Okay.
We're just gonna expand it.
Yeah, for Chroniclers projects in particular, obviously I've been in quite several. All started with Harper, who of course I'll be reprising in the remake of Generation stuff, which I'm very excited to do that, because that was always the fun one to do. But obviously another big one was Shipmaster. That was the first ever major villain role.
I think I like you as the Shipmaster even more than I like you as Garrett. Dude, you fucking nailed the Shipmaster.
It is, but the interesting thing is that even though I really loved playing as the Shipmaster and stuff, especially comedically, like I did for the fan mail thing, which I loved how so many people.
I have no balls. Yeah,
but interestingly enough, I do also have a huge.
Prepare yourself, my precious little bitch boy.
But I massively also have a huge soft spot for Garrett in particular, because it was actually the first ever role I ever used my normal voice for, because in a lot of the roles that I had in the past, not just for Chronicler stuff, obviously with Harper, I had the British accent, of course. But and then of course obviously the deep gravelly evil elite voice, but also just even before all that, I was never comfortable with using my own voice, usually because some of the people that when I did use my voice for original stuff, including for my very first machinima that I did, everyone fucking hated the way that I sound. They said I sound like some nasally glass SpongeBob motherfucker, essentially.
I don't know if I can go that far.
but that's how. Well, that was back then. I probably sound a lot more different
That's
now.
true. You know, that was probably a long time ago.
But at the same time, it really, for so many years, it affected the way I did. So that basically, just anytime I got a role, whether it be big or small, I just used a different accent of every time, because that's something that I'm really good at doing, is doing different accents and stuff. So I was never comfortable with using my own voice, but then with Garrett, that was the first time that originally I was gonna do a freaking Southern accent. I was originally gonna base his voice around Negan from The Walking Dead and stuff, but that's something that would then transition for when I did
Carl.
That's
your
something I would do for
your
later.
camera just fell behind your speech. Hold on, talk again. Okay, now it's caught up. Okay,
Yeah,
you're good.
That was weird.
That
It was like you were doing like his whole slow mo thing, and it's like you're still talking normal speed, but just slow mo like 5 seconds back.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, but it's all good now.
Yeah.
Yes.
It was
Okay,
like the
so-
Brotherhood War and Aftermath live stream all over again.
Oh God.
That's
Dear
God. Yeah.
But so to get back to what I was saying and stuff, it was the first time that I ever chose to use my regular voice for a character and stuff. Obviously, a little bit more serious sounding and all that. But like that was because, again, I was basing the character a lot based on myself and my experiences and all that, and I really poured a lot into it just to make sure it sounded good, and I'm really happy with some of the reactions that I got from so many people and all that. I was so surprised. This was the first time I was using my regular voice, and I'm just so happy that people really liked it and stuff.
Hell yeah.
And I was just I was taken aback by it so much and stuff. So I was so glad that I made that decision. I would have regretted it if I didn't use my normal voice for that and stuff.
Well, Tatsu, how about you?
Yeah.
Are we talking just for Kron stuff, or just all in
I
general?
think we've expanded to make it more
you've
just
already
in
talked a
general.
lot about what you've liked for my stuff. What about beyond that?
The only other one that it was really favorite of, it's for another guy that has since taken down the videos, and I have since parted ways from him.
Yeah.
But I do still have all the audio from him. But it was this guy who was, I believe, was Scottish, but it kind of had think of kind of like a Scottish Jason Statham sound to it.
Okay.
So you end up with something like this.
Cool.
We're talking someone who's way down here.
Yeah.
Not wanting to do anything about it.
So about it. So I'll have to look up the thing again, and maybe I'll send you a sample or something like that if you want to use it for a future character.
That'd be neat.
But that was a pretty good one. The only other one that I really, really liked was
Hold that thought.
'Kay.
Mega. Hugh, jot that down as an idea for the recast of Alex in Border War, if you could.
Okay. Yes.
All right. Anyway, go ahead, Tatsu.
Okay. The only other character that I've really liked was the old noob voice.
Yeah. I get where Isaiah's coming from with the noob's character development, but I gotta say, sometimes I miss the old one.
Yeah. So I still use it from time to time for my own purposes and whatever I'm doing. But I kind of miss that character a little bit.
Yeah, I hear you.
I do miss Noob as well, because that's where I got my idea for the high pitched voice. And actually, while we were going through this, I thought of 2 answers. If you don't mind me piping in quickly.
Take it away.
The one that I sort of am throwing out there with an asterisk on it for your stuff in particular, because I mean, me, I voiced mainly background characters before now.
Right.
I don't know. There might be a bit of a knife in the back waiting for it.
Hey, just keep going at it. You'll get there eventually.
I know. I'm just teasing, but I genuinely loved playing John. But the asterisk comes in is that I wrote the character, so while I love playing him, I do put an asterisk. I'm like, no, well, I love him because
You're biased. Yeah.
I literally created this being. But I think the role that I love outside of this, because contrary to what most people, it's contrary to a lot, I do a lot of individual voice acting work. I'm currently in a very professional Star Trek audio drama as an admiral. I was in a couple gotcha series. I was in a Battlefront machinima. I have like 110 auditions on Casting Call Club. So hey, directors, not judge, wink, wink.
Yeah.
But more importantly, it was the first audition I had, or the first role I landed for Galen for the Butt Buddy Star Wars series. If people remember that, I played the Grand Moff, and I loved playing him because I am a sucker.
That now.
I am a sucker for dry humor. I love dry British humor, and being able to deliver lines as that dry, or even I showed my family that, and they were cracking up laughing when you asked me if I was evil, and that might be my favorite take of any line ever. I was like, no, like just a couple stops, a couple question mark.
Yeah.
But that by far is my favorite role. Just to how do you do, fellow professionals?
Yeah.
But
no, that's good. I forgot that was you. I'm gonna have to go back and check that out again.
Yeah. Now you got a chance at my high choice. But that's all the questions I have, and I assume that's all the questions you have.
I think we're finished, and it is. We are coming up on 3.5 hours. I am out of water, and I have to piss like a fire hose.
Well, before you piss, actually, yeah. I lied. I have one question. The 20th question. The final one.
Okay.
And don't worry, this is your outro. Folks, Kron, Mega, Tatsu, Block, to everybody that joined, thank you for joining. This is the final question. Well, that was it. There will be a day when the strength of men fails, but it is not this day. For the Lifebringer saga, and if I remember correctly, the Spartan Legacy saga are over.
No, they're still the Void.
Never mind, I lied. Wow, this destroyed that entire sentence.
Immediately, I was wrong.
You know what?
I'm fine with it. The Lifebringer saga is over.
That's what I was looking at.
Yeah.
We know that we, the fans, know that the next series is the well-anticipated return of the odd men out, of Joey and all those guys, and laughter and crying, and hopefully a cameo from the all-famous Mr. Nutty. And we also know that in initially 5, but now probably maybe 6 or 7, we know down the line the Void is coming. And we've mentioned some things throughout the video. What else is there in the future for the CCU, the Chronicler Cinematic Universe?
I got a whole video coming about that about Wednesday. It's ready to go. I want to get this out first, and then everyone's gonna see a roadmap for my plans for the next several years, and I am very excited to unveil it. I think people are going to be excited about it too.
Nice. Yeah. And with that, we leave you all with that anticipation. Thank you for coming to the video.
If you watch this whole 3.5 hour roundtable, you are a dedicated fan, and I applaud you. You made it through.
You
all
are
the
a
bullshit.
champion.
Yeah, that is us for tonight. Winners, thank you for hosting. Everyone else who came and is still here, thank you so much for being here. It's been awesome, and I will catch you guys in the future.
Catch you guys later. Join the Discord if you haven't, and don't forget to check out the Chronicler 177 Ko-Fi, where the current goal is to get Cron a computer so he can continue to feed his addiction of, oh god, what is it? Star Citizen? Elite Dangerous? Yeah, that's that Spice flyy shooty game.
Yeah, that one.
So check all those out. We'll see you guys later.